What up, chat? Yo! Yo, dog! What's up, chat? What's up? Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. 2 hours of yapping incoming? What? Only an hour and 45. Come on now. I know I'm late to the party, but what was your answer to the 100 min versus 100 gorilla question? I feel like the answer is super obvious. You know, I would jerk them both off. Easy. Wait, is this a different question? Which one are we talking about? The jerking off 100 men versus one gorilla? Is that? I can't remember. It's been a while. What do you mean? What do you mean what's the answer to my question? 100 men easy? No problem. Jesus Christ. No. Is that a serious question that people are asking? Could who would win 100 men versus one gorilla? I mean, I think the only reason that there's even debate there is people in their head, they start like their scenarios aren't the same. It's not like, you know, 100 men just like with their bare hands fighting a gorilla. In their head, they're like grabbing weapons like fucking like swords and guns and shit and fighting a gorilla with it. So obviously bare hands, just 100 dudes versus one gorilla. Obviously the gorilla is fucking just, you know, popping off. that gorilla is getting that, you know, Call of Duty KD going on. He's got 100-0. The men will win. Are you guys trolling right now? That's a troll. Absolutely not. 100 men working together. Gorilla is cooked. Submen die, sure, but whatever. What? You guys crazy? I mean, I don't know if you guys must be picturing like 100 Mike Tysons in his prime, of course. It's just like even 100 like trying to rush him. I don't know. 100 dunks could do it. Okay, 100 me. I mean, you didn't say Giga Chad men. Come on, you gotta be more specific. Bro thinks a gorilla looks like King Kong. Nope. Okay, you gotta keep in mind, it doesn't have to. If anything. Okay, well, King Kong obviously would be fucked, but part of the problem is that 100 men cannot attack a gorilla at the same time anyways. The surface area doesn't, what do you like, how's that even working? You realistically, like, maybe like 9 or 10 are getting to like actually get a shot at him at once. So this fucking gorilla is just like, boom, just fucking taking him out. You guys are lining up to just get uppercut in the face. People underestimate how little it takes to be incapacitated by a silverback. That's what I'm saying. Like, again, this gorilla, people act like they're taking a punch to the face and they're like shaking that shit off like it's a heavyweight fucking bout. They're like throwing down, like, boom! They're like, all right, he got a good hit in. No, you're dead. Your skull caved in. You're done. It's over. You're like a corpse on the ground. Now, if anything, you have a new issue. And that is, you're fighting with 100 dudes are fighting, but you're having to climb over the corpses of the ones over the front line, which is going to make it even harder for you. So if anything, the gorilla is under like this fucking igloo of like corpses that he beat the shit out of. And you're like, maybe one of you is getting to like barely swing in at a time. So yeah, it wouldn't even be close. Corpses equal weapons. Humans are like the only animal in the animal kingdom that have stamina. Most animals need to rest for 8 hours plus after 20 minutes of strenuous activity. After 20 minutes? So that means the gorilla will have 15 minutes to spare after he fucking curb stomps 100 dudes into the ground. 15 minutes, he'll be just still popping off. And then from there, he'll take an 8-hour nap. It's going to be over in no time. What if 100 people pick up a rock from the ground and throw it? Or is using an opposable thumb against the rules? Now that would be a little different. We're talking there's weapons and shit, especially if you had like, you know, projectiles like rocks. I mean, it depends. Is it like 100 of like, you know, athletic individuals, or is it like 100 Twitch chatters? Because let's be honest, if it's 100 Twitch chatters throwing rocks, they're taking out like each half is taking out the other half. They're whiffing on the gorilla throw completely and just pelting the other people on the other side. One gorilla versus 100 men is like one man versus 100 toddlers. The strength difference is just too big for the sheer numbers to matter. That's pretty much exactly how I look at it too, Mr. Brain. I guess, like I said, it's because people start thinking, they start being like, well, you could strategize, do all this kind of stuff. I mean, realistically, your biggest problem at that point, if you could get like 100 men's strength all used in unison against a gorilla, yeah, then you'd be fine. But realistically, there's going to be like 5 to 10 of you, even if you like, you know what I mean? It's just, come on now, guys. Be reasonable. Can you give us your position on this? What the hell the sandwich alignment chart? Must have classic sandwich toppings, meat, cheese, lettuce, condiments, etc. Structure purist. The sandwich must have a classic sandwich shape, 2 pieces of bread / baked product with toppings in between. I like the true neutral, a hot dog. A hot dog is a sandwich. Radical sandwich anarchy. A Pop-Tart is a sandwich. I'm probably somewhere around, I don't know, I fall into the structural neutral ingredient purist and structural purist ingredient neutral. I'm somewhere in between like these two. Because I think a hot dog, you've lost your way. You've lost sight of what really matters in life. The moment you're saying a hot dog is a sandwich, they should send you back to the 1st grade. And then ingredient rebel, also that's kind of fucked, because if a person says, oh, I'm gonna make you a sandwich, they show up with I mean, I wouldn't be too upset about ice cream between 2 waffles. In fact, my stomach's growling just thinking about it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I need that shit. But saying, hey, I made you a sandwich and showing up with that is a little bit, that's misleading. And then down here, calling it chicken wrap as a sandwich that's just a liar. So yeah, somewhere around here. A hot dog being true neutral is crazy. I mean, it makes sense in the grand scheme of the chart. At first you're like, what? That's true neutral? But then when you're like, well, I guess the radical is a Pop-Tart as a sandwich, that is pretty radical. That's pretty extreme. Violet lost a run to a pixel of contaminating poly in a flask, rounded down to 0% in the flask description. Yes, I would love to see the clip, Duke Marriott. Let me see that shit. I am very curious. Let's see what happened.
Here, we're gonna... Okay. See, we're safe. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Okay. That's not how we wanted that to go at all. Wow. Wow. Okay. I guess.
Let me see that again. That is very unusual. Ambrosia, slime, and blood. Trying to see. I'm looking at the ingredients of stuff that got poured down there. Mimicium. Fair. No. This is very weird because I don't think there's a scenario. There's not supposed to be a scenario that it ever doesn't list a material that's in your flask, even if it's a single pixel. I think it always lists it. So what I'm trying to think of is there's some way that these ingredients mixed to create poly down there. In fact, let me go down to the part where she was... I feel like I can see maybe a thin layer of the pink stuff there. That's why I'm trying to see too. Was it normal poly? The thing is, it has to be regular poly or chaotic poly. Because she turned into a sheep. It can't be unstable poly. Because unstable poly, the sheep is not a potential shift at all. Not only that, but whenever she sheeped, it seemed like she could have actually just idled and possibly have been fine. It's possible. I don't know that for sure. But watch here. When she sheeps, she actually isn't taking any damage for a moment. I don't know what that's all about. She may have just happened to be in like the perfect spot for like a seam or some crap. But she actually started to move. Sometimes it's best to just don't touch anything. So like right here, don't touch anything.
That's a problem.
It seemed like she was about to be okay. Oh, Latali says the sheep does not take contact damage from cursed rock. So do you think that she was literally in the seam perfect? Because there's a seam this way, you could tell vertically. She may have perfectly been in the seam while being sheeped, and had she not moved, she just would have been fine.
Oh, that's a problem.
And then she walked into... Yeah, it could be iframes as well. Maybe there is some kind of iframe there. That's crazy, though. I wish she would have just stood still. That would have been such a good clip if she sheeps herself and survives. Huh, that is an unusual death. I found where she picked up the poly in her flask. It must have rounded down to 0%. It's you can still be sheeped with chaotic poly. No, that's what I'm saying. Chaotic poly, maybe I worded it wrong. Chaotic poly can turn you into a sheep. Regular poly can turn you into a sheep. Unstable poly cannot turn you into a sheep. So unstable poly, though, is the one that's more common for materials to like mix and make it. And but it's like, well, it couldn't even been unstable poly, because that, again, it wouldn't have shifted her into a sheep. Had to be chaotic poly or regular poly. Let me see this moment. You think she picked up the poly in her flask.
All right, let's get out of here.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I can see it. Yeah, a couple pixels right here, and there was some below.
Wait, that's it. We found it. We found it. Oh my god.
She's gonna go scooping that up?
More? There's gotta be more.
Oh yeah, there is definitely.
You're trickling. More. Trickle, trickle. We're getting some. Okay. I think that's it. All right. We got some. We got some.
I checked. It can be 4 materials in a flash shown. I don't know how many at all total. Oh, you think that she hit the maximum amount? Wait. Because it does already have 3 materials listed. There's probably a character limit. Let's test this for a moment. The ambrosia, slime, and blood, and then it couldn't maybe fit the. The reason we're confused, everybody's confused because clearly we're like, hey, we can see there is a bit of poly, but even if you have 1 pixel of something in your flask, it will have a presence, like it will be listed. But currently the only way we're able to see the list of stuff that she has is it's listed right here at the bottom. But this list may not be 100% accurate. The one that it is guaranteed, I think, always listed is when you hover over the flask, which she didn't necessarily do. So maybe this list is kind of like cutting off the extra material at the very end, which is kind of where we're getting confused, because had she hovered on it, maybe it would have said poly. Let's test this. In fact, let's real quickly. All right, make sure we don't have any. Let's test this real fast. Cheat GUI. Yeah, we just go new game. Don't use poly. Only unmixable materials. Don't use poly. Wait, why don't use poly? I'm a little confused with the last part. Figured we just do like the same materials. Easiest small name materials would be water, pizza. Let me do the exact ones that I saw. If I can find their names. The tricky part is there's like so many different versions of like slime, for example. That's not the one, I don't think. Try this. Nope. Wait, did we click that one, right? Slime mist. What? Where's the regular slime? Kick some slimy meat? I guess we could. I was trying to see if somebody knew the weird thing is some labels on this stuff are not 100% accurate. I mean, slime mist, for example. I mean, I guess we could use that one. It's just kind of hard to get into the other flask. It's not that. Turn off local. You think it'd be easier? Let's see. No. Slime. Ah, you're right. Whoat's right. That's much easier to get that slime. Hopefully that's the right one. So ambrosia slime, and then we wanted blood. There's like a billion bloods. Let's see if this is the right one. Yes, that is the right one. Blood. All right, that. And then now we just grab polymorphine, I guess. And we should be good to go. And we can do her exact setup. It's a pretty crazy death, though. Pretty fucking crazy. All right, let's see if we can recreate it. So we're going to make the ambrosia our main flask, so we need to empty out a little bit. And in fact, we can probably just start scooping up some of this blood right here, and that'd probably be fine. Yeah, there's some blood. And then can we empty some poly on top of that and maybe get that in our flask too? Let me see. Alright, 90% full. Alright, then we throw some poly in the air, see if we can capture it in our flask. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Bruh. So whenever I hover over the flask number 1, it says Ambrosia, Blood, and Slime Potion. Yet when we hover on it here, it says Ambrosia, Blood, Slime, and Polymorphine. So basically, the description at the bottom just doesn't list everything. It gets truncated at 3. And but she would have to have hovered over the flask to see that she had the poly in there. Because I was going to say, there's no way it hides a material, but I guess it can't fit the full description down there at the bottom.
Right now, he is drenched in sweat.
Damn, that is rough. That is rough. And you know what else is kind of crazy is that I believe on all these materials, the poly sits on top, the polymorphine. So there's a chance that maybe she still didn't even have enough poly in her flask. Because poly is one of those things that, let's see if I can pour it on the ground. See, there's a little bit of poly. Yeah, you can walk over it and it actually doesn't poly you. You have to get a good clump of it on you to get it to poly your character. It used to be different. It used to be if your character touched even a single pixel of polymorphine, it would poly you. And it was that way for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. It was that way for a while. And the devs eventually changed it because what would happen is people would get mad because sometimes a single pixel is actually not even visible. Like so for example, there is a single pixel of poly in this pool of water. It's like ridiculous. You can't even see it. You'd be walking like this and you just get polyed and you would die, and this would lead to frustration because people would be like, I don't understand. Why did my character randomly just combust? Or like randomly just burst into being a sheep. And they're like, well, you know, if you watch the footage, there's a single pixel. So they made it where a clump of pixels need to touch you. Well, in her case, she actually poured out some mimicium afterwards. So I think she may have accidentally poured some mimicium that then touched the couple pixels of poly, which then activated more of it, which then allowed her to get polyed. Yeah, I don't know. Like, but the point is, we do know that it just wasn't listed at the description on the bottom, but it was in her flask. Is it character limit or is it hard capped at 3 materials? I feel like it's hard capped at 3. I feel like maybe we've discussed this before, but what's the 3? That's the shortest name materials you guys can think of. In fact, let's just pull the list up and find the shortest ones. It was a little mud, oil. Okay, yeah, these are some good names right here. Let's see, flasks. In fact, let's get rid of this. Get rid of this, and then flasks. Oh wait, there was the oil. That's a good one. And then you said, I think somebody said peat. Is a really good one too, right there. These are really short names. Oil, peat, slime, blood. These are pretty damn short. There's oil. Alright, we got some blood in there. Got some oil, slime, blood, and then just get some peat. Just get some peat. Oil, peat, slime, blood. So when I go here, yeah, it only lists 3. It just sounded familiar. So it isn't even about the name, the length of the material name. It's that it will only ever show, unless, yeah, no, it will only ever show 3 material down here at the bottom. You have to hover to get more detail. Which what's crazy is that this used to not be true. It was Avasia, I believe it was Avasia, who created a mod that did this, and it was pretty popular in the community. People loved it. It was like a good quality of life change, because I think they used to make it where even these materials were limited on what it would list. So then once Evasia made that mod, and I guess people were like, I like that shit, and the mods were like, okay, well then we'll just add it to the main game. So Evasia, I believe, is the one, I think, was the one that coded it. I'm like 70% sure. How many unique materials fit in a flask? Just 4? No, you can add more than that. You can, let's see if I'll grab a little bit more of something else. It sucks because the polymorphine's there, so it's there's no, I don't think there's any limitation on the amount of materials. I could be wrong on that one, but the issue becomes where the more materials you add, materials can mix inside of flasks, because you know that just like in the environment, they mix with each other and sometimes create another material. Since that can happen in flasks, the more you put in there, the more possibilities of some of them start to mix, which then leads to less materials. So be a bit confusing. The poly pixels clumped up on top of Mina after the black hole. I think Dunk is right. Mimicium copying poly too, because it just seemed like, you know, she didn't grab, I mean, that much from what I could tell, but then she poured Mimicium out, so maybe that's how it got crazier. Now with that knowledge, we watch back her first clip and her death.
Here, we're gonna...
I don't know. It looks like the Mimicium, I think, is mostly converting over some of this stuff up top. That makes it even more unlucky, though, because it means, like... I want to see. Damn it, I wanted a good look at the... I think it's kind of hard to see. There's not much, though, but there is some.
See, we're safe. Oh, that's... See, we're safe. Oh, that's a problem. That's a okay. Okay. That's not how we wanted that to go at all.
Yeah, I think it's not that the black hole pulled the poly into her. The black hole won't pull the polymorphing. What it is I think it disrupts the ground beneath her, allowing the pixels to become more centered on her body. Does that make sense? So like, for example, like the poly, so the ground gets eaten away here, which then allows her character to fall. Kind of like when you swim through liquid in Noita when you throw it in the air. Her body, I guess the character's body, like the hitbox falls more deeply into that clump of pixels.
Oh, that's a problem.
Maybe even allows some of the above. Is there some of it above? I don't know, but it seems like she's already in it right now. It's just there isn't enough pixels to poly her. Remember, like I was just showing how you can have a couple pixels on the ground like this, and it doesn't. Usually, it shouldn't poly you unless you eat some of it. If you eat it, then you only need 1 pixel, and it will. I guess by black holing, she like fell into it. Read Latali. What did I miss? Acid, lava, poison, freezing liquid, freezing vapor. Those are the only materials that hurt a sheep. Acid, lava, poison, freezing liquid, freezing vapor. Those are the only materials that hurt a sheep. The background damage does still hurt, though. So basically what Latali is saying then is, as a sheep, you can touch the cursed rock, you'll be fine. But you gotta remember that there's 2 levels of damage in the cursed rock. There is the rock itself, which is the cursed rock damage, and then there is the like zone aura, which is the cursed rock. I guess just call it like, you know, curse. And that's why you like to try to find those seams. If you can find the seam, which is where 2 layers of the rock meet, then traveling in the seam, there's actually no. You won't take any damage from that cursed aura, or whatever you want to call it. There is a good chance she was sitting there in between the seams for a moment, but then she moved. Yeah, exactly. The aura is what killed her, not the rock, which is crazy because I completely forgot that the rock, I mean, I guess it's not one of those things that you'd really do very often, like running through the cursed rock as a sheep. She was in the seam 100%. You can clearly see the vertical wall. I just have no idea how easy it is, like because I always do the horizontal seams, you know. I've never tried to move through. Oh, actually, no, you are right, because we do the vertical seam whenever we're traveling between the one orb and the tower. That one is always a vertical seam. So she was in that exact correct spot. Oh, she just hadn't moved. That's one of those things in Noita that every once in a while you always want to do that react. Like you want to be quick to react in Noita. That's how you stay alive. But sometimes, just for a moment, you gotta like know like when to just freeze. That deer in the headlights moment where you're just like and assess what's going on. I actually had that happen in our 34 orb run. If you guys remember, I accidentally ran into a ton of polymorphine, but I froze because my character actually was in such a position that the polymorphine was pouring just like a pixel away from my character. It wasn't actually hitting my character, but because I froze and I didn't panic move, I didn't hit the poly, so I managed to be just fine. Wait, what is this? Oh, I think I saw this clip. This clip's actually, somebody linked in the Discord. I like this clip. It's for all those Noita gamers out there.
It's a very rare fucking find. Extraordinarily rare. Like, oh God, what the hell is happening?
Spin. Safe. Spin. Neat.
Neat.
Noita.
Spin.
I want to see his
very rare fucking find.
So he has saving grace.
Extraordinarily rare.
I want to see if saving grace is what saves him.
Oh God, what the hell is happening?
It was not luck.
Yeah. You can see it right there. Saving grace saved you. So because he had saving grace, he actually met the requirement to die. But so when his character died, he gets resurrected with 1 HP. And then he looks like he was shooting some heals. Oh, no, he has healthium in a flask. I think he threw some healthium. He may have had a circle of vigor as well. I don't know. But
like, oh God, what the hell is happening?
he actually gets saved twice. Yeah, this is the power. This is why some people, you know, in new players' hands, I feel like it's not the greatest. But he's an experienced player. He was a little bit in panic mode, but you know that's the power of saving grace because it's got iframes. So saving grace saves him, which means he should have died, but then it resurrects him, and because he has his heal still going, it pushes his HP up, which then he dies again. Let me see if I can. You can see at the bottom. It's kind of hard to see because my browser thing's in the way, but it'll say saving grace has saved you again. So he gets saved once, he gets saved twice, and then he still is so if something could kill him again, and again saving grace would save him because he now is above the 1 HP again. It's pretty damn good. I like how it's just like he's got the glasses on, so you don't get to see the panic in his eyes, but I guarantee there was some fear.
Extraordinarily rare. Like, oh God, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, Latali says not only does it save you, but it's a whole 60 frames of iframes, meaning like you're invulnerable, you're immortal. So basically you get a second of immortality, which he got to save him twice.
Noita.
For comparison, extra life is 30 frames. It's crazy. Like, I mean, it may not seem like a big deal, 30 frames versus 60 frames, but it's like half a second, and that literally can sometimes be everything. A half a second difference between life and death. All right. Well, we've done a little bit of Noita forensics, I guess, for Violet's death. And which was a pretty crazy death, though. Like that, you can't even blame her on that one. That shit. I mean, obviously, you could say skill issue, but let's be real, it could happen to anyone. That one was crazy, but you know, that happens, and then we got to see to liberate the forks. Another cool thing about liberate there, the guy that just almost nearly died, he actually plays with the controller. So all you guys that play with the controller or that play on the, which is I guess still a controller, but if you play on the Steam Deck, There you go. People like Let's Suffer Together and Liberate should inspire you because those guys exclusively play Noita on a controller. In fact, if you watch his gameplay, it's pretty easy to see his cursor is actually a little bulkier whenever you're using a controller, and it's locked into a certain orbit around your character. So you can tell pretty quickly that they're using a controller when you watch them. Before you use your brain too much, any chance for power words? Let me think for a moment. Hey Dunk, do you still do those random number of orbs / shifts and other random oddity runs? Yeah, all the time. We do, you're talking about like the roulette run and stuff? We do roulette runs all the time. Impossible seed equals seeds people have submitted over the years that they claim are impossible to win, e.g. monstrous powder is in mine seed. I don't get them very often though. People all the time will talk about like some cursed seed, but they never really talk about they never say like here is the seed of some insane run. It's a rare case that people actually drop a exact run to check out. A gourd moon run, healthium run, shift shenanigans required. No black holes. In honor of Violet's death, is it possible to kill all the bosses with liquids? Maybe exclude Leviathan? I don't think there's that many bosses that can be killed by liquids. I can only think of like, there's the Master of Masters, kolmi, the Kiwi boss. You could probably kill the friendly boss whenever he's not buffed. Take a world record from Yolk. He's already lost so many lately. Have you guys looked? I've talked about it quite a few times. He's Yolk is struggling right now. Yeah, after 11 orb random seed, Parker. Shit. No, Parker, bad Parker. So Parker took a world record from Flippy, who took it from Yolk. I was hoping that was going to be one of the world records that Yolk currently had. Still not bad. Still, you know, at least these guys are bringing the world record further away from Yolk. But remember, I told you guys the only way to bring Yolk back to the streamer world is to force him to have as many second places or third places, I guess, as possible. Get rid of those first places. And so far, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like 8 world records that he's going to be trying to reclaim. Yolk is the bronze tier speedrunner. He's got the bronze trophy. Is he bullying Yolk again? No. Wait, what? What is this? Wait, when did he add that? Wait. What the fuck? Less bullying Yolk, more Noita, please. Okay, let's. The point is, hey, put those middle fingers away right now, chat. You put them away this very moment. It's a wholesome community, damn it. He's going to be back to just show us how bad at the game we are. I don't know. I feel like Yolk is washed up. I think that these world records are likely, you know, these are permanent. Maybe not permanent for second. They may go to third, fourth, fifth, but I don't think we ever see first places back here again. I don't think Yolk has what it takes anymore. You know, Count Chocula has gotten older. He's aged, and I don't know if he can ever return to the all first place life. Poor little guy. He's washed. All right, anyways. Focus up here. Unstable polymorphine only turns into the Hisi. How about trying to kill an enemy as 10 different Hisi? Ooh, a little scary. Dunk it. The baiting is too obvious. No, I don't think Yolk's got what it takes. Let's put it this way. When's the last time Yolk got a world record? Think about it. It's been like months. Meanwhile, there's been several new first places in the speedrunning. Yeah, Yolk is washed. It's over. It's a good daily for bridge cheese. You could get a vid on the new way out. Check what these god gamers have to say. This is a singular snack. Sector pointed at the saw blade to ensure that it didn't fly back into him. It's very easy to panic on this, and it
really is.
But Sneck was smooth.
This backstep.
The fact that he did that without melee immunity. It's pretty crazy because you pay attention to one thing and then you watch just the dragon, the saw blade's gonna murder you. You watch just the saw blade and the dragon may murder you.
Yep.
Some balls on that one, man.
I got some balls. You got some good hair on you too.
Why do you say that so weird? I got some balls. You got some good hair on you too. Snack, chill.
Just saying. And that was a good clip. And I'm so happy that, you know, I get this happy moment where Dunk watches a clip of me and he's actually impressed.
I'm proud of you, Snack. You are the best.
Thank you, Dunk. Thank you.
You say Asmongold levels of content reaction? It's called content recycling. All right? Recycling is going to be the key to saving the earth. Are you against recycling? Is that what I'm hearing right now? You're out there polluting the earth? No, I'm recycling. Veldak played me into reacting, and so it continues. Damn it, I can't decide on what today's run's going to be. Chad, I need you to suggest something awesome. So far, I've heard fungal shifts. I've heard take off your pants. What else we got? The pants thing. Show us your knees. Discover what the secret recipes are without cheating. I still have never done a run where I said I'm going to discover all the recipes, which, well, 2 of the recipes, without, you know, looking anything up. Now, with that said, I've accidentally discovered 1 or 2 in a run, but I've never, like, said, this seed, I'm going to do it. Purely the randomness is different than just grinding it out. Somebody was looking through the possibilities. They were saying there was, like, I don't know, like 5,000 different combinations or some shit. It could be pretty rough. Dupe the rocks and the sun seed and make 100 suns. So you hate my engine, I see. You want the Noita engine to just blow up. Some self-replicating minus stuff that turns the entire world into gold. A recycle run. Grab every wand in the main world and sell it in Pheromone. If it hasn't always cast, throw it in the lava lake. Juan's right, that would be a pain in the ass. But is it interesting enough? Feels pretty grindy. There would be a lot of like back and forth. Find an impossible run and crush it. Hey, I'm always listening for somebody to have some kind of like seed that they think is impossible to win or something like that. But so far, nobody throws out anything that insane. Start the week with the power words. You guys love that power words. It's so evil though. Do a run where you have chaotic transmutation on your damage wand. You would have to cheat the spell in after snowy depths. See, that's the part I don't like though. Chaotic transmutation, chaotic transmutation is definitely one of those that we don't use very often, but there are a couple cases where it can be pretty nice. Wait, where is chaotic transmutation? It's on the left edge. Thank you. Chaotic transmutation. This one, I think it was Latali was the one that taught me, like, you can actually put this on certain spells, like the plasmas, and they actually kind of become something else entirely. Watch this. Check this out. So, first you have the plasma by itself. Nothing new there. But if you put chaotic transmutation on it, and then you fire it, it becomes like a single pixel of death. So you actually can even jump in front of it and stuff. There's no beam, but the single point is deadly. So you could you can actually like move into it. But let me perks, limited spells. Yeah, there you go. Latali says it's basically like a music note, but you can actually add triggers to this one. Yeah, the only problem that kind of sucks is the fact that it will do chaotic transmutation is a bit scary. But let's see, where are you homing? There's homing, and then you could just put damage field, damage plus. So homing, this. They cast it. I probably should put drilling on it too, shouldn't I? So it doesn't get caught on everything. Spells. Drilling shot. There you go. Kind of cool, right? And you remember this is the it's essentially like a mist spell at this point, where you treat it like a mist, where you just attach modifiers to it, and it's a really short lifespan mist though, because it doesn't stay alive for that long. But it's kind of nice that you can take a spell like the plasma and actually make it safe to use, in case you're ever doing a challenge run where you had to use the plasma spell. So you're just like, oh well, that's how you make it where it can still mess up enemies, but not murder you in the process. Make a wisp out of it. Actually, what is a plasma beam need for a wisp? 3 reduces and then 1 of these. Ping pong or the orbiting arc. I don't even know how that would look. Actually, what were the chances on it? Oh, 100% apparently. Yeah, so in that case, you would also say spells. Homing, I'm gonna put 2 of those, and then 1 boomerang. You know which one I kind of want to do? Because we were goofing around with it not too long ago. Is creating an infinite heal machine. Because I still don't even remember the specifics, so it's kind of fun to venture into that since it's been so long. Because I have to kind of like relearn the steps, you know? Why doesn't it damage you? Because I put chaotic transmutation on it. If I take chaotic transmutation off of it and I shoot it, it's a wisp that can murder me. I'm going to die. Help. Help. Well, it's supposed to boomerang back. The problem is it found an enemy and it went off. But yeah, this form of the beam is very dangerous to me. And as a wisp, it is going to kill me. It's just a matter of time. Unless you outrun it or some crap. Blep. Why not do plasma wisp? You could make a large plasma wisp. You can, yeah, you can do whatever. Does that wisp work with the plasma enhancer? I actually don't know what the resulting would it be a. I think it would be just the same spec, but I don't know. Maybe it'd be like a larger, like center point. I don't know actually on that one. Let's just build. Here, I'll let you guys vote. Do you guys want to see Power Words or a Plasma Wisp daily run? If Power Words wins, then likely we're not going to get to do a full long run today because we're already like 2 hours into stream. But I'll let you guys decide. If you vote for Power Words, we're not going to have a long run today.
Do it.
But I'll see what you're in the mood for. What do you want to do?
Do it.
Power Words is that like content creator kind of crap where it's the mic is connected to the game. If the streamer says the word and chat gets to choose the word like chicken, then it's maybe my character dies or something goofy like that. Power Words run, or we do like a Plasma Wisp daily run. If the Plasma Wisp daily run ends up winning, we'll probably make the goal be like Plasma Wisp daily, maybe kill all bosses. We'll just, once we have it built, we'll go around slaying for a while. I don't know if necessarily we'll do every single boss, but until we've seen the plasma just like, shred for a while. All right, well, you guys decided. You guys want to see a Plasma Wisp build, so that's what we're going to do today. Essentially, we're going to try to build this build right here, but in, a, not dangerous way, hopefully. Daily run. Terrible levitation. Ugh.
Power words are frustrating, but they are frustrating for Dunk, so everything is good. But I get it. After some time, Dunk's cheating and whining is getting old.
What? Cheating? I never cheat in Power Words. I always play fair. Don't you try to make this shit up. Everything should be functioning, hopefully. Maybe. And we'll do shop number 2 here in a bit. Let me get get a little bit of momentum going before I kill it off with the shop. Dude, I don't know what's happening. I keep doing a little bit of good levitation for like a moment, and then I fall out of it almost immediately. Fine. Oh, see, I fell out of it, but luckily I was already so far along it didn't matter. Are you making a Plasma Wisp without the Weakening Mage exploit? No Weakening Mage exploit. Yes, I like that. That's a good detail. No weakening mage exploit this time. That way there's a little bit of danger. And by a little bit of danger, I mean actually the chaotic transmutation is probably the most dangerous part, not necessarily the plasma.
I really wish.
Are you doing a regular wisp or a chaotic transmutation version? The chaotic transmutation version, of course. Be reasonable now. I mean, we may have the other one temporarily, depending on the situation, if we feel comfortable. How about another glass cannon enemies run later? Maybe. I mean, the thing is, I bet you we take forever on this wisp run today, so it'll probably take a... I mean, unless I die. If I die, then we will have spare time. But that glass cannon run, people said I made it look too easy. Didn't say anything about today. It could be tomorrow, next week. Okay, you're just saying at some point, Marlum, you're wanting another glass cannon? I mean, if you guys wanted it, I'll definitely... I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a fun time. Even if I did make it look easy. I remember you guys were talking so much shit. You're like, you're not even getting past the first zone. And then I got the win, and you got... There's the healthium that I've been hearing about. It is real. Chat is not lying. Today's daily does, in fact, have a healthium. Sometimes they're liars. You can't always trust them. Wow, that is rare. So that's why you always check these pedestals, even if you're like, I have all the flasks I need. Because you never know when you'll get a pedestal that gets a rare spawn. Which today did have a rare spawn. It was a healthium one. And in fact, there's hearts as well. That's kind of crazy. So remember, if you want to get maximum usage out of your healthium flask, you don't drink it. You don't right click to drink because that'll just like waste a ton of it. Instead, you stain yourself with it. And when you get the stain, you can stand around and it will heal you infinitely. Fungal shift something into healthium. I don't know if we're going to get that frisky today. I feel like the last couple times we've had healthium, we did just shift it away. Because every time chat's like, fungal shift, and then it almost never goes in a good way. Okay, but this time... this time is different. Alright, boom. Bets are closed. Let's begin. If you didn't get in, that's on you. You're too slow. This channel's about speed and youth. No old people allowed. Ooh. Now this is an opening. So, melee immunity is nice to have because of the early fungal caverns and everything, but repulsion field is arguably that, like, that perk that... I mean, I honestly didn't think it was that highly debated, but I feel like we went through some debates recently arguing with repulsion field how good it is, but there's no denying that it is one of the best perks in the game. It is S tier, even though it is annoying as shit. I know, I agree it's annoying as shit. Doesn't mean it's not amazing. I would like this. I think we'll just go with the spark bolts and move them. Oops. I mean to throw it on the ground. Something like that, so I can spam on the enemies for now. Everything else, not really needed. Our digging is kind of terrible. Kind of awful. Repulsion field is not good for wisp runs, though. It's not good for healing wisps. The kind of wisp that we're going to run, it's not bad. So normally I would definitely say don't grab that heal yet, but remember we have healthium, so hopefully we shouldn't, you know, care too much about grabbing an inefficient heal. I'm also setting up the statue in such a way that we can build a kind of like a little telly station, I guess, that we can just come and go using that unstable telly. It's gonna be random, I know, but at least it allows us to exit it. I'm going with repulsion field because I do believe it is the better choice. Now, arguably, as you become more experienced at the game, like as you reach the no-lifers like myself who just live on Noita, you probably would lean towards melee immunity because repulsion field is more of like towards the polymages and all that kind of stuff that you end up liking the repulsion the most. And by then, a lot of players who play a ton have already resolved that problem through other means, other methods. But I like to play in the way that I believe is the true perk tier list, which is true to the perk tier list, meaning it is like one of the best perks to grab. Why did I put that on a wand that cannot cast it? Also, because we're using unstable telly, I don't know where it's going to throw me. So in this case, it threw me up. So I have to then do the the telly method again. Stream title. Oh, thank you, Megarone. Let me swap this out to a different wand and then update the title to say the plasma wisp. Would adding 1 or 2 on the heavy spread, adding 1 or 2 of the heavy spreads with that wand, as it could bring the recharge down to 0 currently. That's actually not necessarily a bad idea. I think it could be a pretty creative tweak to the build, because right now when you spam it, you're saying like you're not running out of mana anyways, so why not throw on 1 heavy spread? Yes, it will fuck up one of the shots, but it will cut down on the recharge time by more than half. It's not a bad idea. The one thing to keep in mind is that you could throw on 2. The one thing to keep in mind is that you would choose by the pacing. So for this case, you could actually run out of mana eventually, but it is nice for a bit there where you can just kind of machine gun. But one more little detail is that that one kind of random shot that fires out of you, you got to remember that it works that way, because sometimes you'll notice people stand really close to explosives, myself included. Because if it's explosives right here, you're like, oh, I'm shooting to the left, it's whatever. But once you have the heavy spread on there, those become dangerous because you could accidentally fire it off into the explosive without realizing it. So yeah, not a bad idea, Synthetron. Oh my gosh. Unstable telly, stop being a pain. I also didn't move that there. Alright, attempt number 3 to leave the mountain. If you're curious why we're using the telly to leave the mountain, is to make sure that we can keep our mountain as an edit zone. Likely we'll find something to dig in this zone here, and then from there we won't have to rely on that, you know, randomness anymore. Honestly, I'm pretty new to Noita. I've probably got more hours on your vids than in game, and I always think to grab melee immunity before repulsion. I've never won a run. Might explain things. It's just because repulsion has like these negatives that, you know, melee you really don't have any negatives. It's just like, oh, you know, enemies can't melee me. That's it. Like that's like nothing negative about that. And it's very clear to see its value. But then repulsion is a little bit harder to see its value because you're using black holes. It messes with the black hole shots. Yeah, some enemies get their projectiles thrown away, but some of them still hit you. It's not like it's 100%. But usually when it comes to Noita, you worry about the things that like lock you down, kind of get you in like just a death scenario. Because if you get to still make decisions afterwards, there's usually if you like have this moment where even if you have a 10 HP, whatever, you're still standing there and you're able to say, okay, what do I want to do? How can I recover this run? Sometimes you can think a way out of it. Repulsion, it won't save you from getting damaged ever and that kind of stuff, but it can help you. It keeps you out of less insta-death moments. So melee gives you the frozen melee death. That's something to worry about. While repulsion just repels all these scenarios that can get you, like from like a poly shot to like an Uko shot, just hitting you, electrifying you. There's several moments that lead to this real heavy bullshit that involves projectiles flying towards you. So it's like you want to, whichever one gets rid of the most bullshit scenarios. So it's melee, frozen melee is one scenario, while the projectile scenario can be many, depending on which projectile is flying at you. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It's just like the better defensive item for those scenarios. But you know, some people like to run like luminous drill builds and like get up on enemies, like they really get up in them. And when they do that, they're constantly getting their health chipped away. So they obviously probably see a lot more value in melee immunity. But in general, the repulsion is going to save you from these scenarios of where you really just didn't see it coming. You're just like, wow, I did not expect that death. But you can't heal yourself with heal bolt. You can still heal yourself with heal bolt. It just maybe is a little bit more annoying, but you still can. And you got to remember that we also have healthium today. I don't know, melee would have saved you versus that slice bot. Also, me not trying to melee him would have saved me too. Tell that to the noob player we are talking about. In a noob player, it is almost like the value of repulsion goes up, I would say, tremendously. The newer the player is. That's why if somebody like Yolk is arguing for melee immunity, I'm like, okay, well, maybe for you, it's not that bad of a choice, but when your average Noita player, after watching Noita players for a billion years, yeah, they ain't fixing the healing bolt. Me. It doesn't really require a fix. Most of the time, if you're healing yourself, you're shooting like a spark trigger off of a wall and the heal hits you. It still hits you. The same. But if you're trying to swim into it, that's where it gets a little weird. I've never once been frost melee killed. I'm fairly certain. I don't personally rate melee immunity that high. Yeah, most new players don't get frozen melee because, I mean, it can happen. I feel like the frozen melee becomes the death you fear as you start getting a little bit comfortable around enemies, so you start getting closer to the fights. Most newer players, I guess there are some players that even when they're brand new are just like bashing their face into everything, but usually the bashing your face mentality comes with like comfort, and you start to think like, I know Noita, I can get up on these enemies, and that's when you get frozen, and that's when you get meleeed. Or if you get just, I guess, telly to thrown. Sometimes it doesn't matter, right, how experienced you are, you get telly thrown into a frozen melee. That's just bad news. But yeah, most newer players, I feel like they stay a little bit back from enemies. Like they like that. I got hit there, and that's the kind of hits that you see most newer players getting, is just like range chipped away. Which is why Yolk was saying like he felt like the repulsion or the melee would be better, because he's saying like you could at least eliminate all that chip damage because you have a heal, you know. So in this case, you don't worry about those little moments as much because you're like, okay, I got hit, I heal it up, it cancels it out. But I value the repulsion for new players for the chip damage, yes, but also because, like I said, there's so many ranged kind of bullshit moments. You really don't think about it, but if you go over your, like in your mind, your montage of Noita deaths, a lot of them are like off screen, just stuff happening that is just like, what the fuck? And when you start to think about it, you're like, well, repulsion would have saved me in this scenario, and this scenario, and this scenario. So many, while the melee is usually just a couple. You know, unless you're dying to the dragon, unless you're like literally walking up to the dragon and he's just, you know, murdering you, then it's like, okay, melee immunity would definitely have saved you there. That is one specific moment that melee immunity is damn good, is that dragon kill. It's like really, really good. Melee immunity gives you an easy dragon kill, which is big. Yeah, that is true. I mean, but while that dragon, yeah, that would be the biggest argument I'd say to buff up the melee's value. It's tricky. It's like, especially when I try to look at it from a new player's perspective, it's like, all right, yes, a new guy going in there fighting that dragon, if they have melee immunity, you're feeling way more comfortable that like, yeah, they'll be fine. Like maybe they get hit by a couple projectiles or two. But also, it just takes them knowing one okay build, and they'll also be able to do big damage to that dragon. So when you justify it throughout the entire run, I'm like, I just can't overlook the value of repulsion. You gotta remember, I wasn't always like saying that repulsion was like the best. It just, over time, watching new players and all that, Mixu was the one that I think was pretty upset with me not in fact, he argued that repulsion should be better than explosion immunity, and I remember him arguing that, and over time I slowly was like, maybe there may be truth to that. I think I still hold explosion immunity at #1, but it's close. That's how good repulsion is. What are you linking here, Juan? What am I watching? See, this is a perfect example. Overconfidence. Most newer players wouldn't just go say hi and just like walk up to these guys. At least you shouldn't. Usually as a Noita player that's becoming, you know, getting understanding of the game, you don't just hug them. But me, I was like, I can hug this guy. In fact, I even whip out my melee wand, or not really melee, our slice wand. I bring out my slice wand and I'm like, I'll just slice him. Oh, the dude's actually pumping me with damage. Oh. But again, like I said, the more experience you get, that's where you start to find value in melee. It's because you give yourself the fear of comfort, of like, or the risk of comfort, because you start walking up to enemies because you're like, yeah, this guy isn't that big of a deal. So close to ambrosia. I literally had an ambrosia flask on that death. Like I said, it's like a, what's the sound clip? Overconfidence is a insidious killer or some shit like that. So in that case, yeah, melee helps the moments like that where you're overconfident. But I'd say most new guys aren't exactly overconfident. They just don't know the game. When you don't know the details of every little attack ever, trust me, man. Trust. Repulsion is the way. I remember one of the times we had this exact discussion. I think it was exactly melee immunity versus repulsion. And I was like explaining to chat, I was like, trust me. And they're like, you know, there's always people that are really pro melee. Because melee's not bad, for sure. It's not like it's... Now, fire immunity is one that I think people do a lot of times end up overvaluing. They'll see like fire immunity or repulsion or fire immunity or melee immunity. They're like, I think I want fire immunity. And it's like, no! Because fire immunity is... Yes, it's annoying to not have it, but it is not that great. The more health you have, the better it gets, but in the early days, it is kind of a waste. Wasn't it recently Repulsion versus Saving Grace? No, that one was very recently, and that one's not even discussion. That's just nonsense. Anybody saying Saving Grace they just don't understand. You would never grab Saving Grace over Repulsion in a general perk tier list. Like, we're talking about general recommendation. Situationally, yeah, there are definitely situations you would say Saving Grace, for sure. Do not do this again. I mean, you guys are baiting, is what it is. The problem is, I hate the fact that there are probably new guys that are like, should I consider? It's like, no, don't get baited. But the one that happened was Repulsion versus Saving Grace, and what happened was I actually got hit by an Uko shot, and in which I could hear people were already typing, because yeah, with the Repulsion it's supposed to protect you from Uko shots, but there's still moments you can get hit by one depending on how close you are to the Uko. And I did something to get myself hit, so the Uko, I get electrified and I'm just dead, right? And the Uko jumps forward and just goes to throw a shot, and because of Repulsion it just shoves it away, and that allows the electricity to eventually fade, so I get unstunned and I scramble to safety. You know, it's just because it was like an off-screen Uko shot, because it gets so much speed that it can actually go through the repulsion field. But I remember being like, there's the fucking value. Like, there, because it was something that I was just out of my control. It wasn't like me necessarily misplaying and getting too aggressive like with the melee dudes. Can you demonstrate? We may act, sometimes you don't need to say, can you demonstrate? It will just happen. But if there was a moment to really have melee show its value, it'd be probably in this area where I like turn a corner too quickly and get frozen. Then I'd be like, where's my melee immunity? Aw. See, just in general, getting too close to these guys is wasteful. Wait, there's Ambrosia down there. Because they are really not getting rid of that stain, are they? On the other hand, recently you got hit by an Uko and jumped to the melee range. You had melee immunity, but there's a chance that that Uko shot wouldn't have hit me at all if I had repulsion. But yeah, that melee immunity, yeah, I mean, it's like good versus great. Arguing that one is great doesn't necessarily make the other one not good. It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to completely represent the perks, because yeah, it takes like seeing like a billion scenarios in Noita play out, and then you just start to see the value of perks over time. But that's what makes Noita fun, though, right? It's because sometimes you make that decision that you're like, this is my preferred decision, and then it like saves you in that run, and you're like, thank God, like, you know, I don't like it when there are games that are there's the clear option always, where one is, you know, +5 damage and one is +10 damage. Which perk do you want to choose? +5 damage or +10 damage? Or just like, well, clearly this one is, you know, just more damage. But for me, I'm like, clearly repulsion will save you in this way, but some people are like, yeah, but I want to be protected in this way, and just leaves room for creativity and all that kind of stuff. What makes Noita great. +5 damage is clearly better. +10 is unethical and makes the game unfun. You see how this got like a little bit of a glow? I think it has a little bit of a glow, unless I'm crazy. We mean it should have an always cast. Yeah. It's got a trigger as well. That is a interesting wand, and what I want to do is I'm going to put up these missiles. And then we're going to grab this. Repulsion protects you from the shadow bubble and the looky layers too, to be honest. Still though, not agreeing with you. Like I said, you guys are free to make the wrong choice. That's what makes Noita fun. You can choose ridiculousness. But I choose to give my new guys out there accurate information. No, Dunk, it's the more enjoyable choice. Repulsion can be frustrating. Once you have the black holes, the whole time it's like, this piece of shit messing up my black hole shots. And then that poly shot that's about to hit you flies off, and you're like, alright, repulsion isn't so bad. Oh, baby, our melee friend. Should we go say hi to him? He's back for revenge. Or actually, I'm here for revenge. He won last battle. The last 1v1. So it's a little annoying to use the healthium in here, because you gotta remember that there is like a kind of a constant water stain trying to apply. Which I believe if I'm not moving, does it not apply at all? Oh no, it does still apply. But basically what's happening is if you have a stain on you like healthium, just standing in the zone will wash it off. Funny GIF and Chase, check this. Noita related or just a random funny GIF? What are we talking about here? Ooh, oh wait, hold on, I see something. Oh my god. Yo. What the... Holy shit. Oh shit. What? That's a good survive right there. That's badass. He was moving. He was like, as a sheep, he was like, didn't he? Yeah, he didn't even need repulsion. He's got nature's repulsion field. The wand was like, it's a sheep. I'm not gonna hurt him. But those shots right there, oh man. Take notes is what a true god gamer looks like. That was pretty crazy. What playing Calamity mod does to a motherfucker. All his Terraria bullet dodging. The bullet hell practice. Pinball, that was some smooth moves, I'll give you that. Definitely had some smooth moves. Why was Squidward at the edge of the cursed rock? In parallel worlds, he can be in. They're like considered shadow bosses. They're versions of like the bridge boss, and there's another one for the alchemist. But they exist in the overworld, and they can be anywhere, like in the walls and stuff. We'll probably see some today. Ooh, look at this. This is a orbiting arc, meaning all we need is to find one reduce and to divide by 2, and we will already have, besides having the plasma itself, we'll be pretty much set up for a plasma run. Just got here. What do you want the plasma wisp to look like? It's nothing specific. I just want to create some kind of plasma wisp that'll run around killing all the enemies and then return to me and hopefully not murder me. Other than, yeah, just basically something that's running around killing all my enemies. That's all I'm looking for. See, there's an Uko, and we could be like, goodbye, Uko shots. We're not afraid of you. We have repulsion. We have like a thumbnail or two at least with them.
Would you have sex with a terrorist if she were the most beautiful woman in the world?
What the fuck? That's bait. Dunk, answer the question. First off, do I know? Am I aware this person is dangerous? Maybe I'm one of the victims of the terror. We don't know this. There's too many questions. Would you have sex with a terrorist if she was a 69-month sub? Wait, Synthetron, are you a 69-month sub? 17-monther. Alright, he's got a little ways left. Working on it. Working on it, boss. What's got you guys so worked up? It's Thursday morning. I can understand when it's the weekend. Some of you guys are maybe a little bit drunk. Maybe trying to use Twitch chat to gauge if they made the right decisions the night before while they were drunk. But it's a Thursday morning. There shouldn't be this craziness yet. He posted that like 3 times. he wanted it known. Chad is horny today. Yeah, they're horned. 2 horned. Dangerously horned. Frisky Thursday. Frisky Thursday. I know a streamer who said he noticed a considerable increase in horny posting a couple months into COVID. the isolation was getting to the people. You know, they're like, oh, I can't take it anymore. They start watching that sister leveling. They're like, hold up now. Isolate. That's what isolation will do to a man. What's the story behind the horn emote? No story, just a lifestyle, man. Oh, there we go, another worm. Worm Hunters, Season 2. Gonna try this at home. I'm a trained professional. I know how to handle the worm. Oh, I bet you do. No, I knew gonna make it weird, chat. It was a worm. Keep your impure thoughts out of my Noita. Watching Dunk handle these worms is making me horny. Shark, please. Please. Thursday, pace yourself. You're not gonna make it to the end of the week. Only on Twitch can I see a bald man versus a worm. I have hair. You need to get your eyes checked. Be jealous. To be fair, it is a sick toupee. I see why you wear. It's my hair, damn it! What are you yapping about? What is this? That's what happens when you get nutted on. Alright, we're good. I was told. I was informed. You guys just aren't. You're just not up to date on, like, you know, relevant speech. It's a. That's how you say you choked. No, hold on. If you choke on a cashew, the way people say it these days is you've been nutted on. That's just. It's just how it's said. I don't make the rules. I just follow them. Cashews aren't even nuts, though. Don't start with me, damn it. That's it. I'm eating a dark chocolate cashew out of anger. Just to make sure that there is one less dark cashew in the world, so Spiritus cannot have it. This one's for you, Spiritus. This is my sensu bean right here. I'm actually running low on dark chocolate cashews. They're almost all gone. Cashews greater than almonds. Yeah, I said it. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's a fact you're just saying right there. Been lots of telly bolts and dig bolts on the run today. Alright. Pour in our telly. I'm so close. Broken one. Oh my goodness.
Mine?
Well, this is getting interesting. What the shit? So we have healthium, heal bolts, and circle of vigor. And the fact that there's water material, we had a crit on water we left behind, we're gonna go back and get it. The reason, if you ever see one of these material spells, if you can find the crit of blank, that like is whatever this material is, so crit of water in this case, you can make whatever wand you're building hit for 5 times as much damage. So if you're doing 100 damage, then you will do 500 damage. It's pretty badass. Now, we gotta start organizing stuff. I think I need that. Pretty sure I do. We'll let go of that double. Grab this. Boop. If you die, it's on you. Honestly, I'm always scared when I see like you have this crazy setup. Heals, 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 heals. It gives you too much confidence sometimes. You're like, oh my god, nothing will ever kill me. And it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna die for sure. The moment in Noita you think you're unkillable, that's when you're definitely gonna die. I'm invincible! Instantly gets tellied in a pool of polymorphine. It's pretty much how it goes. The moment you start playing a little bit reckless, Noita will be like, yoink, and just take your life from you. Spark trigger into 5 cast, I guess. Should be a 4, but we don't have a quad on us at the moment. Put all those down. Currently it hits for 8 times 4, 32. So 64 damage. And then we put the orange glimmer. Not bad. These here just to take up space. Toss that down. And remember, with a circle of vigor like this, what you can do is you put it on a non-shuffle. This isn't a non-shuffle, I'm just showing as an example. You would put the tiplicate, which is 25 charges. 25 charges on a circle of vigor. If you attach it correctly on a right wand, you can actually make it where instead of having 2 charges of circle of vigor, you actually have 27 charges. You get the 25 from this plus the 2 from this, which is pretty nice. In fact, let me see what wands we have here. Is this, that one was a shuffle. I wasn't paying attention to the graphic. Was there another? Maybe another wand. We can test it on in a moment. Just the tiplicate. Circle of Vigor in the eye room? Yes. Circle of Vigor. Today's daily is pretty crazy. Go ahead and jump to the next mountain for the moment. Crit on water is a really big deal. So basically we get to make the decision where we can remove one of our digging bolts, which obviously removes the 8 damage from this plus the 8 damage. So it's removed 16 damage, but then the ones that do hit will now hit twice as hard if I put this and this. The reality is we end up taking out a second digging bolt, so you end up only with 2 hitting. At that point, it's like, is it even worth it? And as I doubled it, it's 5 times damage. So yes, it is still worth it, but obviously we'd like to find a larger non-shuffle wand so we can fit all of this on there. But this will hit for 5 times as much, and this will hit for 5 times as much, but it made us have to remove 2 to make this water and crit on water setup work. Okay, for now, we'll just drop one of the triples on the ground, I guess. This is a pretty good wand. We'll use it as our tele wand temporarily. 390 mana max. This takes 60, and this takes 80 to cast. Cast 3 of them, right? So 80 times 3, 240, plus that should be 300. So the wand needs to be a non-shuffle with less than 300 mana max if we wanted to cast the tiplicate and the circle of vigor with a ton of extra charges. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, there's a wuplicate too. Oh. So all the enemies that we're hitting right now, you should see the words crit popping up on them. Any enemy that's eligible to be crit should get crit. Because remember, like I said, water, crit on water, guaranteed crit action. Crit, 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 crit. Come on. Crit. But if you shoot at the statue in the mountain to test your damage, it actually will lie to you, which is what makes the crit stuff a little bit tricky and why it's one of those things that's worth pointing out for newer players. Because, I mean, look at this. This statue is claiming my wand does 3 damage per shot. When in reality, it's saying 3 damage just because digging bolts do drill damage. The drill damage doesn't properly register on the statue. And crits also don't register on the statue. So two layers of things that don't register on the statue makes it look like my build does 3 damage. Meanwhile, when I shoot at the actual enemies that it does properly register damage on, which is the things that matter, which would be like this dude. Let's see, dead. I say it was a 256 damage crit, 200 and something damage crit there. But don't always believe the statue is 100%. They have a lot of misleading information about them. They just help you get a general idea if your wand is doing some damage. It isn't always the most accurate. Oh, this wand is actually... So this wand looks like it's shit, and I mean it is shit, realistically. 25 spread, 1.13 recharge. I mean this is in general like this trash tier wand. But we actually have a use for it. Because Tiplicate needs 60 mana, Circle of Vigor needs 80, so combine those, that's so 80. My brain, man, 120, almost said 140. 120, but you got to remember the typically cast it 3 times, so it has to be able to cast a Circle of Vigor 3 separate times. So we don't have enough mana to cast it 3 times, meaning it will interrupt it. It'll do like a little bonk, like making the noise as if you ran out of mana, and it will use only one of the Tiplicate charges, but not the Circle of Vigor charge. Let's cast it. There it goes. Made the little "you're out of mana" noise, and it used the 1 charge here, but did not use the charge here. There we go. Now, the repulsion actually does add in another annoyance, even though it's amazing. It adds in another annoyance, and that's the fact that it shoves away the heals, which could shove it into a swapper, which could lead to me getting swapped, which is pretty scary. But I'm not too worried at the moment. I think we'll be alright. Actually, if I put this here, are we good on that? Yeah, now it hangs around a bit. The power of boomerang. One of the main things that we're looking for right now is a reduce lifetime. Would be super helpful. Yeah, the red crystals. So one thing I got to make sure is I don't get stuck on anything, because I chose not to grab melee immunity, meaning I'm very vulnerable to the dragon. What we do is we just make sure we kill him. And we got the heart available for the heart mage if we wanted to use it with our like tellies, but I'm too lazy. And we got this. Really don't have the best cast delay removal right now. What we could do is let's see if the next mountain, maybe the next mountain will have like a luminous drill or chainsaw. You just never know. Unlikely. Damn it. Don't want any of that crap. I mean, I think we're gonna go to some parallel worlds, possibly. I mean, this is pretty late in to be grabbing extra perk, but if you plan to go to parallel worlds, it's like, okay, you'll get to see the value out of it. So, we'll go ahead and grab it. For now, we're gonna leave that in the ceiling. The heal, we can just grab it, because again, we have so many heals. Fire the nuke, you coward. Are you happier now? You happy? I take back everything bad I ever said about you. Wait a second, what were you saying? I missed it, do it again. Shouldn't have had your eyes closed. Oh wow, look at that. You don't see that every day. Too bad it's not useful today, but today's daily run is kind of wild with the heals and stuff. That is a chest that just dropped a full heal out of it, which again isn't useful since we have so many heals, but still kind of cool that it happened. If you add one enemy to Noita, what would you add? One enemy to Noita. I don't know, I have to think on that one for a while. Depends on how evil I'm feeling. It's like, does Noita need another polymorphine kind of enemy? Maybe. I want a Hisi boss. I'd be down with that. I want both of these. Explosion immunity normally is definitely the priority, but we are already pretty high HP. Let me think. Yeah, All-Seeing Eye would help us navigating hell as well. Alright, we'll go All-Seeing Eye. You should almost always grab Explosion immunity, though, just so you know. But for today's run and the situation, we'll make that move. Yeah, Oil Baron, I'm trying to get the wisp going as soon as possible, but the ingredients have been lacking. In fact, let me glance at our wisp setup again. And, okay, so both plasmas need the exact same 3-1. So the good news is, if we buy that, we officially have this, oops. Reduce and divide by 2. That's the only things we're missing right now. Oh wait, chaotic transmutation. Yeah, kind of a minor detail. Wait, is chaotic transmutation in hell? I feel like it is, maybe. Incapacity versus 12 capacity. Screw it. For now, we're just going to go with this one until I find a better way to deal with the cast delay problems. So put that there. So this stuff goes here. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move that there. Here. Don't need that many doubles. Okay, get rid of one of these. Move the add mana there. Good. Chaotic transmutation does spawn in the hell shop. Okay, so then we'll focus on getting really good digging. And then we'll go to parallel worlds, get our tinker problem and all the other stuff taken care of. Then we go to hell and we get this plasma build going. Okay, so we're back here. Luckily we have telejuice, so we can use our teleportadium. It's pretty rare that we get this deep in and we're having to use tele to get around, but it's kind of our own fault too, because like chat was saying earlier, we were offered a matter eater. We kind of chose not to use it. But the reason I'm not really that interested in using Matter Eater is because Matter Eater doesn't work on Cursed Rock. So I'll go through all the trouble to make Matter Eater work, and then you just use the Matter Eater to then find a black hole to then throw away the Matter Eater. You know, it's like a temporary solution. So if I can just bypass it, I usually try to. Nala, very nice. Not so nice with the wand drop. Copy random spell thrice. I could do with the explosive projectile to make something really explosive. And kill the alchemist. Sure, we'll do that. It will give us the Greek letters, which then means we can get rid of the duplicate. Good thing we have explosion immunity. But luckily, the big explosions that we're about to build shouldn't hurt the player. Wait, what is all this sand right here? It's just an island. Shouldn't be dangerous to the player. As long as we build it correctly. Actually, wait, if we want to use water material on there, we will not be safe. So we'll just use on the alchemist kill and then that's it. There is a plasma beam enhancer. Maybe I place that somewhere for later so we can test it with the wisp. I don't think it'll do anything, but I'd rather be certain. I lost my longest run yet to polyblobs in the sky. Didn't know what they did before. Yeah, they bleed poly all over the place, and they shoot poly, and they're a huge pain. Fun fact, there was actually a small time period where the regular poly mages actually bled good amounts of poly as well. I guess people complained, devs took it out. It was just a short period of time. It wasn't like, I don't know, maybe it was a couple months or something, maybe just a couple weeks. I just remember it was a thing, because when it changed, it was like, oh man, that could have some huge changes in the game, but then they reverted it back. I think it's my favorite biome, yeah, the Wanmar area, the Overgrown Caverns is what its actual name is. Its resources are crazy. Just constant loots. I'm checking each one because I'm looking for black hole or white hole. Black hole, white hole. Black hole timer, obviously. 15 capacity on that's not bad. Whole extra 5 capacity. That's pretty good. If you're curious why it started to look kind of crazy, because there's a stone down here, the little rune stone of fire. You have to kick it, turn it off. There you go. Firing water with a projectile makes the projectile give that enemy an invisible wet status for 720 frames that causes crit to hit it. If you place water with that spark bolt, the payload would still crit, and you can get the explosive projectile. Oh, good idea. Fantastic. I was like, what? That makes sense. Great idea. So just don't put it in the payload. You still should be fine as long as it's applying to the spark trigger. And then the copy random still should be fine to not copy as long as we make sure the water and the spark trigger are cast at the same time, which, yeah. Good call. Wow. I do want that freeze, though. 34 degrees of spread. Come on. Give me a break. I think I'm going to try to do a fungal shift real quick with healthium, just because at this point we end up with this full flask of healthium, which is cool. But then we just haven't used it. Cause, well, we used it for a little while. It's at 87%. But since then, we have Circle of Vigor, so it's like, oh, we don't even... So might as well see if maybe we get something interesting. What do you guys say? Why does the freezing liquids perk extinguish fire? Because you wouldn't be able to spray water on yourself if otherwise. Like, let's say that you burned and you're like, oh crap, I'm on fire, let me put out the water. Every time you throw water on yourself, it would turn into ice, and you wouldn't be able to... You'd be in a big trouble trying to get that damn shit put out. I say good riddance to that devil liquid. Devil liquid. Yeah, that was the one I think somebody else was showing. I didn't know which shift they got it, but yep, it gets rid of it. So definitely don't fungal shift the healthium until you... Oh wait, there was a chest I didn't open in the first zone. That dropped a heart? Lol. I missed that in the first zone today. What a waste. Alright, so, yeah, fungal shifting with that was is not the move. Freeze is pretty nice. I'm going to place it here because I think we need that later. Everything else is a little pointless. Homing, spark trigger. This. Oh yeah, we're gonna do explosions, and the suggestion was it's a 2 cast, so that actually will naturally cast both of these at the same time. Should work. We go 5 cast, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no 5th spell, and so we're gonna put down copy random thrice and put explosive. And basically what Synthetron was suggesting earlier is normally I always suggest you guys put the water material in the payload, but you can actually apply it as long as you're casting the spark trigger and the water material at the same time. This is not a modifier, it is a projectile. You need to have something like a double to cast both of these at the same time, but because the wand is a always cast of 2, essentially it has a hidden double right here, so it will cast both the water and the spark trigger at the same time. So this spark trigger actually, as long as it hits the enemy, will apply the water stain effect. Even if water doesn't exist in our world, it gives a hidden water stain, and this will ensure that the digging bolts actually hit for 5 times damage. This is important because originally I would just put this here, right? Originally I just have this chilling with the payload group. But explosive projectile on the water makes it actually deadly. This can hurt me. In fact, yeah, I can show it. So look at my health right now. Let's say I fire it off. Oh, yeah, there it goes. You see how it hit me? Not the fire. The fire damage looks insane, but that's just because okay, hold on, chat. Chill for a second. That's only because I have so much health. The fire damage looks insane, but the dangerous thing is actually the water mixed with this explosive projectile does big damage to the player. It should hit me for something like 100 damage, is 131 damage, which is pretty scary. But by moving it here, or not moving it like that, now the water is applied to the spark trigger, and since the water doesn't get the explosive projectile effect, it will keep the danger away from me, but we still have the good damage. Actually, I think I took us some damage right there. Let me see this real fast. No, we're good. Just must have been some fire or something must have got me. Yeah, a little bit of fire. I think I saw it hurt you too. You know what it could have been? It could have been where I ran out of mana, because right now the mana does drain really quick. It may have been where I ran out of mana, and so the only 2 spells that could cast, maybe it started to cast the water, then it didn't have enough mana for these, and then maybe enough mana had recharged by the time it hit explosive projectile. You know what I mean? It's one of those scenarios where you end up like with one spell with a different modifier than you normally shouldn't have combo together. But anytime you run out of mana, your wand gets unpredictable. Where are the acid spitters there? If you're curious why I wanted to run such an explosive build, it's because the alchemist gets messed up by explosions, especially if you're able to hit him in like the lower half of his body towards the crotch. It messes him up. Pick the freeze up. Oh, I will. I just left it in the first mountain, so I'll know where it's at. I wanted to leave a little bit of space because we need the alchemist spells. Wait, where am I going? What am I doing? Gotta look at the background house. Alright, there's the boss. Say bye to him. And then the stuff's kind of not the greatest for us, actually. Pretty garbage Greek letters. From there, so Tiplicate served its job well, but we don't need it anymore. In fact, we can grab this wand again. And so this one, we're going to use the Omega, I guess. The Omega Lols. There you go, empty out the heal so that the Omega is the only thing casting the heal. Infinite heals online. Bobo, you think you got a bingo? Let's see. That's true, we did just do a fungal shift. This is true. Okay, come on now. Cast an arc spell. Buys from an alternate shop. Okay, yes, but wait, the arc spell. Let me think on this arc spell from. Oh, you're counting orbiting arc? Come on. Come on now. That's, you guys are always going for those. Still an arc? Arc literally is the name. That's not the arc. Yolk, get the hell out of here. Okay, Bobo, there is your bingo master glasses. You guys and your technicalities. They love them. I think we're actually going to just go with the worm. Gonna do the worm. You know what we could do? We could grab the ambrosia now. So go find our ambrosia. There's a bit of ambrosia. Is there any ambrosia intact? Otherwise I have to do mimicium, and that's a whole thing. Hey. That'll work. Actually, that'll work even better. Alright, now we just need the worms. Here's the homing. Where did I leave those worms? Where are the worms? Yes, please let that dude just keep attacking me. Oh, shit. That's huge. Reduce. I didn't even know it was in here. I thought we had checked pretty much every one there is to check. That's a big deal. We are very close to wisp status now. Fuck yeah, that was the ones we already looked at. So the reduce for now, it goes here. That reduce is what we need to turn our plasma into having an infinite lifetime. Now that I think about it, I think we are left with like 2 spells, and we can already create a pretty cool wisp. Chaotic transmutation is 1, divide by 2 is the other. And divide by 2, I'm guessing, will not be that hard to get. We've come across several homings, especially that homing multiple times. I keep looking at it. Damn, these worms. I know they're in here. Fuck it, we just go with Lumi Drill, I guess. It's just the worms, I think I could have used them as they were. Meaning, like, I could just not edit it up and just start going that way, you know? Oh well, it's just, we're going with Lumi. I'm tired of searching. There's something you said you left in the top left, the top right area of fungus. Top right? Remember the top left, there was like a homing spell? That I was like, okay, I may come back for that. But we already have another short range homing right here. Oh, worms! Hey, worms in the house. Let's go. Let's worm it up. And then we don't need to do any editing. We're just gonna head straight for the parallel world. There's it's not an earthquake, it's the earthquake shot, which I guess is their, you know, kind of similar. It's just like little baby earthquakes. It's not the worst thing to have to get by on. I don't even know how it delivers the earthquake itself, and maybe at the death of the projectile. Let's see. Yeah, it's whenever the worm dies. It's not really that bad. You gotta make sure you don't put the freeze on the worm, otherwise it could become something pretty bad. Because when the worm flies back, it'll try to freeze melee you, and that'll be bad news. Can I even... Great. Great, great, great. Hello, sir? Worms dig such a refined path, it's kind of annoying. Let's see if we can keep the stain on us. Another advantage for the, oops, the black holes, because they don't, they dig a big enough path that you can tell through them. Worm it up. You can hear the bridge boss. He's in the wall. He's in the walls. Does this hurt the worm? Sadly, the worm does die by the end of it. So yes, it does hurt him. Gonna piss off the gods. Ooh, look at... Oh my god! Well... That's a nice change. Worms, we don't love you anymore. I'm sorry. Towel. Speed up. Black hole. In fact, let's get rid of the charges first. There we go. Towel, black hole. And we can throw the speed up so that it goes extra fast. Which repulsion's kind of already taking care of that anyways. Then we got a chainsaw, which is going to be nice. We can even... Can we do something like that? Perks. Sure. Did he die yet? What? How dare you? You're a monster.
Imagine picking no wand tinkering by accident because they were so close.
That would suck. The world needs more love. There's another water material, but once you find one water material, what you're looking for is more crit on waters. You only need one of these, but you can get as many as you want on the crit on waters, and they'll keep amplifying more and more damage. Yeah, baby. Anchor with wands everywhere. Convenience. Very nice. Very nice. No longer having to put up with the bullshit. Do you speak worm? I am fluent. I've been talking to chat for a while. So naturally I picked it up. Look at this. It's kind of a crazy one. Add trigger here. Add timer here. Himbo's like, wait a second. You piece of shit. You no good piece of shit. If I do an add trigger onto the spark bolt trigger, then I put the homing there. It makes the homing free. Move this out. Put like a spark bolt in its place. What are we looking? Okay, we've got an infinite cast. Guess that'll work for now. How does the second wand work? It's literally just... spark bolts. Shoot it. Tells you, nothing too crazy. But this is as fast as it can telly. So then I'm like, oh, okay, I need more speed on this bad boy. So what I can do is put something like a chainsaw and a double here, and then it will just place. It'll just do the small telly, and then so chainsaw is at the beginning and it's at the end. There's two chainsaws here. If you did it like that, it's still not bad. Still pretty fast. But if I put it like that, we get way more speed. Oh shit. Because we get a chainsaw at the beginning and the end. If you don't know how that works, it's called chainsaw wrapping. You can type !chainsaw in the chat. I have a whole video explaining that shit. But we really... So all these other ones, the reason they were there, it was simply to take up space. Because if I want to use these spells later, I need to put them somewhere, and these cost like no mana, so I'm just like, but you could, you know, I could just throw them on the ground, that's fine too. And then I also could add this, put this add mana here, and then put down this Nala, and now we got, actually we could go one frame on this, because it doesn't really matter. And now we have the ultimate telly wand. Our damage wand has a little bit of mana issues now, but that's whatever. Once more, the question, where do you find the crit on water in the daily? Oh, my bad there, non-serial. So today's crit on water was in... Oh, that's why you're having a hard time finding it. It was my repaired wand, which means you getting the same wand would be RNGesus Fest. Yeah, so broken wand on the anvil. The exact X and Y location, I think, is what dictates if you get the crit on water. So that's not very realistic to be like, oh, let me just turn in a broken wand and have it land on the exact coordinates. Ain't gonna happen. Broken wand? Yeah. No piercing on the damage wand? Oh, I guess we could put a piercing there, couldn't we? Thank you for saying that. Wasn't thinking. Go shredding with them now. Like, I'm alive, I'm dead. Lots of chainsaws, got some add manas on the table. We are looted. Maybe? I don't think we need spiral arc at all. good. Alright. Are all the wands in the Walmart the same for the seed, or are they random? They should be the same. We should have the identical wands if they're, like, as long as you're playing on the exact same seed, you'll have the same wands in the same spots. The only exception being if, like, a wand drops out of a chest, chest loot can be affected by, for example, like, let's say that I've killed I've killed the dragon before in my Noita history, maybe like a year ago, but you've never killed the dragon. So there can be a spell that drops because of my dragon kill that doesn't drop in yours. Basically, chest loot can be affected by unlocks, while normally that rule doesn't apply on the daily, but it does still work. Like it can mess with the RNG. Everything else though should be fine. Like your shop should be the same no matter what unlocks you have. Wands on pedestal should be the same no matter what unlocks you have. There's a chance you're using add trigger. Wait, there's a chance since you're using add trigger that the spark bolt with the trigger is no longer applying the water stain. Don't know for certain. Oh, that's a great. I actually never looked into that. That's a good question. Let's find out. Should be able to find out pretty easily. I'm glad you brought that up, Synthetron. Well, first let's fire at an enemy over here, and then we'll see if we're able to check. Okay, we got to remove the spark bolt for a moment, because spark bolts can crit. Or add a little bit of crit, you know? It says crit. It says crit. Get the blood stain off of me, because blood does add a crit chance. Crit. Yeah, it's got to still be working. That's a good question, though. I honestly, you know, it's one of those things that you tend to just forget. Probably won't remember in the future either. Okay. How long till wisp / plasm? I think we are really close. We just need to find 2 spells. One of them is somewhat rare, but we're about to be looking for them in hell. Just want to make sure everything else was in place. It's looking pretty good. Alright, let's go back to the main world. We're heading home. In fact, our wand's actually hitting a point where we should probably grab one of the Greek letters, and then we can combine tele and healing. There's the freeze that I wanted. In fact, put the freeze there. That out. Alright. Oh, that polymorphine was still there. I forgot about it. Just grab the gold room and then we're heading to hell. How many hours do you have in this game? A lot. So let's see what we're at these days. Let me... 8,351 hours. Woo! Over 8K. How much in the last 2 weeks? 55.8 hours. Duct tape. Woo! Pretty beefy hours, even for streamer hours. Hell yeah. I mean, Noita is the greatest single-player game ever made. So, you know, rookie numbers, Dunk. I had 8K back in Wrath of the Lich King. I'm catching you. Even though that was obviously a while back, but still. Incorrect. NetHack is top tier. Come on, Cloud. Yes, I know you're a NetHack addict. But over time, hasn't Noita started to kind of, you know, take over your heart a little bit, and NetHack is getting a little bit less attention, and just let Noita consume your soul. You're just trying to resist the Noita. Some people don't want to accept its greatness, which I get it. Because you have all these other games that like you thought were the best game of all time. And then when you come across Noita and you realize that all other games are inferior, it's hard to accept. Were you bald when you were born? Once you're bald, you can never go back. First off, I think a ton of us were bald when we were born. A lot of babies are bald. I've played NetHack for like 20 years. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Noita is having to undo your 20 years of addiction. It takes time. Sorry, Dunk. Morrowind is better than Noita. Noita is still cool, though. That is incorrect, sir. Wrong. You have failed the test. You will be repeating the 3rd grade. I'm sorry, Orange Moose. DayZ, Arma, and Standalone / Tarkov are is my highest hours. What are you look? How many hours are we talking about in Tarkov specifically? Is this room worth the time still? Yeah, it's 250,000 gold. It depends on what you're doing though. Like not every run do you need 250,000 gold. So for example, the reason even though I have a really great run going, I need to stop by here is we're about to be going to Hell. In Hell, the spells cost over 30,000 each per spell. So like, if I want to be able to do much shopping, I need a good chunk of gold. But in your, you know, if I was just wanting to kill the boss, then no, this would be completely unnecessary. Yeah. Oh wait, Salvo says he has 5,000 hours in Tarkov. Robot says he's up to 2.5k. All right, respectable. I have 3,000 in Tarkov. My most played is probably TF2 with 5,000. Damn, TF2. Old school. Though some people still live for it to this day. I just hit 2.5k hours in Tarkov, 5k plus in assorted in DayZ. Not that this is the same kind of game. I mean, I guess there could vary, maybe just barely a couple similarities. But you talking about Tarkov reminded me of this this game. Have you guys been hearing about it? It's supposed to be made by some of the old Blizzard employees, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm not sure which of the Blizzard employees are we talking about. Are they the ones that were there for the occurrences, or are they the ones that just made great games? But it's no, not It's Lurks Below. It's a shooter game. It's kind of like a space Sea of Thieves. It's kind of interesting. 10k in Dota 2, yep, same. 8.4k on Dota 2 alone, 2k on Tarkov. I imagine roughly the same on Warcraft 3 Dota. Killer Luke, he's got some good taste in gaming. Wildgate, yes, that's what it's called, Wildgate. The only reason I brought it up, I guess, him talking about Tarkov for some reason triggered it. Like I said, they're pretty different games. I guess just they're both shooters. That's the only thing that is similar. But very different kinds of shooters from each other. Not realistic shooter necessarily. But, oh fuck, how'd I end up here? They have a free weekend, I think, coming up. I'm probably going to try it out. I don't think I'll do it on stream, don't get me wrong. But I'll probably try it out just to see. Because Space Sea of Thieves sounds kind of cool. Except for the fact that they do it in a lobby kind of system, meaning you have like a ship and you get put with a group of like, I don't know, like 4 people or some shit. And then there's other spaceships of like 4 people, and you go around gathering resources that makes your ships more powerful, and then you like fight each other with it. I don't know. I haven't played it. That's as far as I understood. Seemed like it could be interesting. 5.5k in Dota 2, 1.5k in RimWorld. Not bad. 1.5k in RimWorld. God damn. God damn. My RimWorld, I think, is like 100 hours. MMR. Waifu says they're 5k MMR trash. Me too. I'm like 5 point... I don't know, if I had to guess, it's probably like 5.6k or something these days. I don't even have my rank anymore, so I had to guess. Do you ever put All-Seeing Eye in your telly / Black Hole Wand with the Greek letter? Yeah, you could. It's not a bad idea. I have the perk All-Seeing Eye right now, so it would be kind of silly for me to do it. Bottom right should take us to hell, save us a little bit of traveling.
I really wish you guys could see this guy right now. He is drenched.
Oh yeah, I was talking to Chad about it yesterday when I was playing Dota. What was it, on Monday night? We actually were missing a 5th player. So some people from the chat, you know, you guys have added me on Steam and stuff, so randomly I'll get messages and it'd be like, hey, you looking for a 5th? Stuff like that. So Birdie, for example, he was on playing, so we sent him an invite. Yeah, Birdie, he was in the chat. He's in the chat quite a bit. I don't know if he's here right now. But, so he was in our party, and we're playing Dota, and we actually end up, you know, a player leaves, so we're missing a 5th person. We're like, oh shit, we don't have a 5th. And he goes, hey, I know a guy, he used to be immortal. And I said, sure, invite him. And the person joins, and their username's Sir Action Slacks, and I was like, what the fuck? And so I messaged Birdie. I was like, "Is that these slacks?" And he's like, "Yep." And then I was like, "What? Bullshit." And then I look up the dude's Steam account, and it really was slacks. I was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" If you guys don't know who he is, he's like a pretty well-known Dota personality. And yeah, so we ended up playing a couple games with him. Which apparently his behavior score is so low, I don't think he can even use his in-game mic right now because he gets reported so much. Oh, there's a divide by 2. We needed that. But it was him. And if you're curious how you can tell, whenever you look him up on like Dota Buff and stuff, which I will show my better... We played 2 games with them. Let me see. Yeah, whenever... Because that's where I was like, I don't think it's really him. But whenever you play, it puts a little check mark if they're verified people. So I don't know. You see, the player is verified as their action slacks. So I made sure I had to bust out my moves. You know, had to go 26-3, show them what Luna mid's all about. But yeah, it was just so funny because we're sitting there like, wait. Birdie was like, I know a guy that'll play, and it's Sir Action Slacks. It's so random. Okay, we're looking for chaotic transmutation. Actually, would I like this as well? For the spam, this is a message in the Russian community. Noita, popular YouTube shorts like this. What do you think about the wand who can heal? Let's see.
Legalize nuclear bombs.
What you got going on? It's healing. It's got telly. Is the damage just the explosion?
Ну привет, симпатяги. Как собрать
Wait, what the hell was that? The hell is that?
Как собрать супер жезл 4 в одном? Способный летать, копать, хилять и сносить кабины заодно нажать.
Don't worry, I'm fluent. He said one wand that can do all jobs.
Манны ради халявы. Столько пил,
That isn't because chat just told me, by the way.
сколько нужно для быстрой стрельбы. Нола для прерывания каста. Наложение минимум, вращение в землю и динамит. В принципе, сойдет любая взрывчатка. Модификатор значительно увеличит скорости для непосредственного перемещения. Гамма для копирования хилящего поля, детонация жидкости для путешествий в лаве и хилящее поле для отхила. И самое важное, иммунитет к взрыву. Это только в нашем телемагазине всего лишь...
He said explosion immunity is important.
За 1 лайк и подписку. Нажимайте левую кнопку мыши и превращайтесь в универсальную, уничтожающую все на своем пути комету. Теперь можно лететь хоть в параллельный мир, хоть...
So that version that he's using there, wait, shorts have this? I don't know if that's normal. I want to be able to see shorts, you should be able to see the background.
Лайк и подписку.
But if you're using a wand to travel and everything like that, instead of using, let's see what he had. So he has ground to sand. Something about it is a little choppy. I feel like maybe it's just this, but there's some really fluid all-in-one builds where they're traveling and it's just like, I don't know. It just looked like it was a little choppy. It could just be the recording.
Превращайтесь в универсальную,
Like that right there.
уничтожающую все на своем пути комету. Теперь можно лететь
It
хоть
does
в
work
параллельный...
though. It does work. It's damage. It's healing. It's digging. It does it all. We're actually about to be combining our teleport and our healing right now. Funny that you say that. Let's put that there. So Gamma has to copy the last spell on your wand. Last spell on our wand. We could put there. That out. Triple goes here. How does this look? Not good. Okay, hold up. Triple. Oh shit. Needs to be a 5 cast. In. Okay, we can just wrap the whole thing. That should be fine. But now it's still gonna be slow. But then we put a double at the end. Okay, what are we doing here? 3. Oh wait, no, it's supposed to be this, and then this.
Spin!
Ooh, our mana's kind of ugly. Let me think. Let me think. Bloop, 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 bloop. Screw it, we'll just... It's 2 framing, it's fine, it's fine. It'll keep Yolk awake at night. That's a good thing. He's like, the 2-frame, no! But it's a good thing to combine them, because if you ever run into like lava or anything deadly, you can just keep healing through it while it's beating the hell out of you. How does the wand from the video make any water to convert it to explosions? I don't even know, honestly, if he was using anything to convert. I'm not sure of the role, because sometimes you're not using it for the actual... I'd have to look at it. He had a TNT on there, which I know is where we're getting a lot of the explosions. He was doing ground to sand. I think it may have been the sand conversion one, not the liquid or the powder. Let me see. Where are the conversion ones? So it's ground. He has ground to sand, and then he's got the liquid detonation. But I don't know. Yeah, let me think. Because if you're converting to a sand, why would this make the liquid detonation? I don't know. I'd have to goof around with it. He may have it there for another reason. I don't speak Russian. But there's a lot of builds where you'll put, for example, this build today, we're going to be using chaotic transmutation, but we're not wanting it for the transmutation effect. We're wanting it for another effect. So let me look for it. That's why we're down here right now. That is the last spell I think we need. And there's a ground to sand right there. If we can find that damn chaotic transmutation, we'll be very happy. He doesn't speak Russian. Streamer lied. I know. I'm sorry to my Russian community. I played with your hearts. I was actually very happy because there's not a ton of Russian streamers in the Noita section, but earlier today, I always stop by the Noita section to see if anything interesting is going on, and 2 of the top streamers streaming were Russian. I was like, holy shit! Because, you know, we have a ton of people in our community that are from Russia, because I feel like they just don't have any, you know, like there's no Russian streamers for them to watch, so they're stuck here. They're stuck watching me. I was happy to see that they're getting some representation out there in the Noitas. Alright, chaotic transmutation. The odds of it spawning I think are decently low, but it does spawn down here. It is a thing. You can probably see why I like the heal on my Telly wand, because there's been several instances where I just ran into lava, but instantly my health just shoots back up. Like there's lava here, you can be like, oh, quick dip, and then your health is just back to full right away. Having a heal Telly wand solves a lot of problems. Now, I wouldn't recommend what that guy had, which was a heal Telly wand and damage, and digging. I feel like that's looking for trouble. Oh, that's why he had the liquid detonation on there, though. That makes sense. It wasn't detonating. Somebody probably said it in the chat. He had the liquid detonation on there probably for the purpose of making it anti-poly. In case he's traveling around and he accidentally breaks a poly flask. It doesn't guarantee... I don't know with his setup. I don't think it was a guaranteed setup. But it would make it where it would be highly likely to delete the poly before it could hit his character. Probably be the goal of that liquid detonation. Again, I'm just going off of what I saw in that short. It doesn't mean it's actually accurate. If you speak Russian, he probably explains exactly why he has it there. I could be off by a bit. Chaotic transmutation is being a little bit of a pain, but don't worry. Our adventures... Oh, the electricity is really scary because I do not have electric immunity. You gotta remember that the hell, just like the parallel worlds, it just keeps repeating. Hell keeps repeating as well. So what you do is you hit the bottom shop. I already checked this whole area. So if I head down again, there's gonna be this flat land. That's gonna be, this represents the very first zone in hell. The very first zone in hell. So again, like just, you know, when you first dig through the lava and you reach the first zone, you're like, hey, I've reached hell. That's what this is. So then I go below this and there should be the floating islands again, which are the first thing I usually check when I get down. So there you go, check the floating islands. And we're looking for chaotic transmutation. A whole lot of no transmutation. What will you do once you make the wisp? Sorry if this has... no, I'd probably go kill some bosses. I just want to, like, use it for a little bit. There's not, like, a specific journey. The journey today was more just, like, creating the wisp and having fun. Do I have a favorite ice cream flavor? I mean, in general, if you're talking about, like, base flavors where it's, like, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, I think what else would be considered like mainstream basic flavors. But I like to get vanilla with things mixed into it. So for example, like vanilla ice cream with Reese's mixed into it. Ooh, I love that. Vanilla and Reese's is the good stuff. I like the cookie dough ice cream a lot too. Trying to see if I could choose a number. Ice cream I have a hard time with because my mood dictates it a lot. I like to jump to different ice creams all the time.
Pistachio, easiest answer in existence.
Oh yeah, Aqua Corpse-tastic is saying the same thing. Pistachio. I can't even remember the last time I had pistachio ice cream. Living in Sicily, pistachio is overrated. Whoa, don't shoot the messenger, chat. That was Killer Luke that said it. Not me. I'm not trying to start an international war here. Yes! Chaotic transmutation! The One Piece is real! Alright, we can just drop stuff here. That is definitely pog worthy. Oh, you know what I forgot? To grab the unlimited spells. Son of a bitch. Oh, we have to go look for that perk. That or I guess we could just use a Greek letter to copy it. Let's go ahead and grab a Greek letter while we're here. Take a gamma. Add trigger makes it infinite. Oh yes, you're a genius. You're a genius. I totally forgot. The modifiers with charges, if they're in between an add trigger and the projectile, become they don't use the charges up. You're a genius. Totally forgot. All right. Well then, let's get heading back home. All right. Let's build the wisp. I'm gonna drop this for a moment, and let's start with this one. Here. All right. So here's a brief explanation. You want to focus up for just a second so that you can. I'll be using this build for the rest of the run. And oh fuck, the always cast on this is fucked up. Please hold. Give me one moment. Basically, we're gonna be using this build for the rest of the run. So if you watch me build it one time, then it'll make sense. But if you just aren't paying attention, you'll end up being confused and you'll be left behind. Let me just find. Okay, there's a non-shuffle that'll work. Yes, that'll be perfect. Okay, so we drop the one there. All right, drop. Alright, so the plasma beam cross, the reason that this is not a popular wisp, so a wisp, it means a projectile that lives forever. This thing is dangerous. You usually wouldn't be like, oh, I want this to live forever, because you'll just end up murdering yourself. Especially when you put something like boomerang on this. That means like when you shoot out the cross, you can't even run away from it. It's literally chasing you down to murder you. So that's why we were hunting down the chaotic transmutation. Chaotic transmutation, okay, get the hell out of here. Chaotic transmutation makes it where when we shoot the plasma beam, watch this, it's kind of cool. It's just a little dot. And in fact, the little dot that fires off does do good damage. It does pump. So, what we're going to do is we're going to put an add trigger. Now we'll put the add timer here. We'll put an add trigger onto our plasma beam cross. And we're going to make sure that the chaotic transmutation is between the add trigger and the plasma beam cross. You can put the boomerang in there too, it's fine. Now when I fire it, so currently this has 6 charges. When I fire it off, we should still have 6 charges. That's because add trigger adds the trigger to the plasma cross. Everything in between it becomes free and doesn't use any charges, doesn't use any mana. It just all becomes natural, like innate abilities of the plasma beam cross. So I can fire it off. See just a little beam chasing me. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and move homing and accelerative homing into this as well. So that when I fire it off, if there's an enemy nearby, we want it to run at the enemy and then back to us. Accelerate homing's a little questionable. Whatever, we'll leave it for now. What else do we want to do? Okay, so right now the projectile is dying. It flies around for a little bit, but then it dies off. We need this plasma beam cross to live forever. So the key to making it live on forever is that if you put 3 reduced lifetimes and 1 orbiting arc on a plasma beam cross, it will live forever. So we don't have 3 reduces. So we can put 1 reduce and a divide by 2 next to the reduce. So then this divide by 2 becomes 2 reduces plus the original reduce makes it 3. So 1, 2, 3. So now there are 3 reduces. There's 1 orbit arc on the plasma cross, and they don't cost any mana because of the add trigger. And we should be good, I believe. Let's fire that off. All right, so one of the problems is it does stay, I think it, here, let's take this off for a second. Oh no, we have something wrong right now. Let me look. Do we have to complete the payload? Something is not right. Let me check. Hopefully it's nothing to do with any of this stuff. Divide by 2, reduce, orbit arc. Let me, oh, we had to do it on the outside. Thank you, Latali. I forgot to put it on the outside because in the add trigger, it's fucking it up. Now I think we're good. Hopefully. There it is. The gods are very impressed with you. So that means that you've created a projectile that will live on forever. Basically, this still is 3 reduces, but the divide bys and the add trigger gets all fucked up. So you have to put them on the outside. Any modifiers like that, you want to put it on the outside of the add trigger. So everything else is looking good. And as you can see, the dot lives on forever. And unless, I think if we push it into a wall or something, it may, yeah, it'll get caught on stuff. It's going to have problems. So we want to start taking care of these issues. So some of the issues being, we need to drill through walls. That's important. That way the plasma cross will travel through the walls and get after the enemies. And we're going to put acceleration homing, but I may end up removing that because it's kind of crazy. Alright, so does seem to be doing good. Let's see if we get near some bad guys, what it does. Okay, where'd it go? Okay, it's kind of freaking out right now. And if you're curious why it's moving kind of in this funky way, that's the orbit arc. Okay, so it is doing its job. It's just having a little bit of a struggle to get to some of the enemies that it wants to kill. So what we need to do is start adding some modifiers to it to help it out on killing stuff. But this is officially like what people in the community would consider a wisp. There's a regular homing? Yes, there is definitely a regular homing. See, this right here is a perfect example. You see how it was struggling so much to get to the guy? Like it's because the orbiting arc, so like an enemy is here and the projectile that's trying to kill it is here. You normally just want it to run out to the enemy. The orbiting arc is making it move around in this really weird way. And but don't worry, we can fix this with modifiers and stuff, and we can try to, you know, get it to do a better job at homing onto the enemies. So for now, we will use this as our damaging wand. There's the regular homing. So let's use, instead of accelerate homing, let's use regular homing, see if we're happier with that. Alright, let's try out this version of the wisp, see if we're happier with that one. Ooh, so one thing we have to watch for. Yeah, the homing is doing a way better job at guiding it. So it was like a combination. It was like the accelerate homing plus that orbit arc was like so funky. But now we're looking good. It's like we have little minions running around murdering. Alright, come on. Doubling up on the homing effect would be nice. I mean the boomerang effect. Yeah, it seems to be going pretty good. Plasma enhancement, yes, that one is right here. I don't think there'll be any result from this, but I did want to check it out because somebody brought it up before and I thought, does it do anything? think it's the exact same. Yeah, it looks the same. So one thing that we're having to watch out for is that chaotic transmutation is making it where when our projectiles get near liquids and stuff, they transmute it into other things. And chaotic poly should be in that pool of things. Pretty scary. So it seems right now that our boomerang effect is not the greatest. I can't tell, but I feel like they're doing a really bad job at boomeranging. Let's try what chat was suggesting right now and move that to here, this to the outside, that to there. Like this, hopefully, maybe. You need the add trigger to fail, so add like a 0 charge projectile. Oh, okay, that's why I was gonna say, I don't think it's like homing any stronger. 0 charge projectile, no problem. Where is he gonna go exactly? Boom. I just place it at the end. After the modifiers, if you want to copy multiple times. Okay, so if I want this, that, I don't think that does anything for it, right? Like that? How are we looking? No. And they put an add timer plus chaotic plasma after him. Oh, okay. So it has to Actually, I'll put that there. Oops. Like that?
Spin.
I think we used up one of the charges, actually. Okay, so the double spell will have to go at the beginning then. Thank you, Latali. We're just trying to see if we can make it... so currently, as you can see, it already is a wisp. But what makes a wisp, you know, just a basic wisp and then a really good one, you want it to look like it, kind of like its behavior is almost natural, where it sees an enemy and it'll just go dart over, kill them, and then dart back to the player. Currently, the wisp that we're using is kind of like all floaty, and every once in a while it's hitting enemies and then kind of making its way back over to us. So we're trying to toy with it in a way that maybe we can get it to have a better wisp behavior. Let's see. Latali's help there. So right now, as you can see, it looks like it's hunting down enemies, and then after it kills all nearby enemies, it should just make its way back over to us. That's the general idea. Yeah, so it does seem to be working. Pretty good. Accelerate. We have the accelerate homing. The problem is I think the behavior. We'll try it out. I think it gets pretty wild. Let's try it out. Here's some bad guys. Here's some bad guys. Actually, it seems to kind of have the same behavior. Is it possible to make it launch nukes instead of drill? Yeah, you could. You can make it launch whatever the hell you want. But our nukes right now we are using right there. Let's see, there's a bad guy right there. Yeah, the phasing would completely mess with the lifetime. You'd have to remath it up. So this is one of the big downfalls to the wisp, is that if it ever gets locked onto like an ally creature like this, then it's just stuck there. So you usually want to put stuff in it that will hopefully kill off any of these kind of things, but doesn't get stuck on them. Let's go get our digging wand again since we left it on the ground. And while we're doing that, I'm going to be looking for... There was a damage field that I was wanting to attach. I don't know where I left that. I assume. How do we know the cute creature was a bad guy? I could sense it. That Polly away from me. If I step into Polly, I would be in a lot of trouble because my own wisp would try to murder me. Which, that's not good. Okay, so instead of accelerate homing, let's say that we put the damage field onto the wisp. There you go. This should help a lot with killing things, because now it doesn't need to get perfectly on top of them. It just kind of needs to get them into the like damage field, and then it tears them up. Not bad. Oh yeah, you guys were saying you wanted to see the anti-homing, I think, at one point. I don't know what the hell that's gonna do to it. Well, let's go pick up our digging wand. Let's try to find a zone with actual interesting enemies alive, because right now it's just all the mushroom, like, leftover enemies, and they're kind of lame. Like, I think we want to go to the hell area. It could be kind of fun. Swap the add timer and add trigger. You got it. All knowing what Tolly says to do it, I do it. Okay. Wait a second. Should an anti-homing... Oh, wait. That's why it's not doing it. Whoops. Huh. Ow. Two homing greater than one? I guess. I wanted to see if it even resisted very well. It doesn't... I mean, it's homing, plus we're copying it, divide by 2, so it's actually 3 of these and 3 of these versus a single one of those. So I guess to try to bounce it, you have to put it there. And then let's see what happens in that case. Yeah, this one doesn't even, like, go for him at all. Just stares at it. Like, look, I'd like to help you out, but, I can't. Yeah, this one, because of all the anti-homings, it just does nothing. Interesting. Guess I shouldn't be shocked on that one. Alright, damage field. Put it on there. Alright, bring this out. And go hunt some bad guys. Go, my minions, go! The nice part is this wand has a 100% chance of creating a... Oh, shit. My flask got converted because I was pouring out water as the one wisp got near me, which is actually really dangerous because it could turn into, like, chaotic poly or some crap. But yeah, because it turned into acid, it got in my flask and it all turned into flammable gas. Whoops. Put the boomerang outside the trigger so there's more homing than boomerang. Sure. We don't have to put it, it's just over in the second group. The problem is I was having an issue with them returning to me very well. That's why I wanted multiple of the boomerangs as well. But maybe having it really decisive so it quickly kills an enemy and then afterwards maybe it'll just fly right back. Go, my children. We have some murdering to do. Why are they so slow? Grass is over here. See, it feels like you need the multiple boomerangs, otherwise they don't stick. You know, like they're too slow to keep up. I mean, they murder really well, but you need them in this group here so that whenever you're casting it and you're traveling down, as long as they're not hitting walls. When they hit walls, they do seem to really fuck up. Huh, pretty cool though, right? Is it possible to make a wisp that triggers Taikasova? Yes. In fact, the original heart farm concept basically is based on kind of like that, but instead of doing it with Taikasova, you do it with worms. But yeah, you can make it where one thing just keeps firing off tons and tons of wands. Forever. Put this here so we have a bit more space to work with.
Spin.
Is it possible to make a wisp that triggers sausage? Now, that one I don't know. I don't think so. My thinking is, since we have a bigger wand now, we could put a triple, some chainsaws, and then the freeze modifier here. So the plasma beam cross should shoot off a freeze with that stuff in it. That way we can more easily kill the hell enemies. Maybe. Hopefully. Alright, now we're in hell. Let's spawn some of our children. Let's see them do their thing. Alright, I'd say they're doing pretty good. In case you're curious, I usually don't build Plasma Beam Wisps. I usually use other spells. Plasma Beam is kind of like a silly one to do with, because it then makes us have to use Chaotic Transmutation. If I did not have Chaotic Transmutation on there, let's remove this one spell. So everything else, all its craziness is still there, except for I just remove the Transmutation. I'm going to have to run like hell, but hopefully I'll be able to do this correctly. So when I cast it... Actually, hold up. Actually, you know what's funny? Why is there only... Wait, why is it doing a single beam? Look at it, isn't it Plasma Beam Cross? One of the modifiers we put on it, I guess, mess with it a little bit. Must be the add trigger, maybe? Oh, it's the homings, Latali said. Huh. I think it's cooler like this. You like the little threat of death? You like to live dangerously? So obviously with the Chaotic Transmutation not on there, you get the danger of the Plasma Beams, which could get you killed, especially when you have low HP. Luckily we have so much HP, it doesn't matter if I goof around a little bit. But yeah, so there are wisps out there that once you have them in their wisp form, you pretty much can't outrun them. Like you can literally be zooming around like this, and they'll keep up with you everywhere you're going. They're just like hugging the player, and they're going after enemies and then warping back over to you. The Plasma Beam, I don't know. Currently, it's not doing the greatest job getting through all the stuff. Chat said it has something to do with like its starting speed, which plasma beam naturally doesn't really have a speed. I don't know how that works exactly. Now you can, yeah, you want me to enhance the beam? Oh god. It's a little bigger. Go find some enemies. Dude, when they hit those walls, it's pretty brutal. You want to divide by 10 on them? Actually, no, I wouldn't be able to do that. Well, I could do that. It's a little scary. Safe, right? Damn, it's like really going after enemies. Oh, I found a dude in the wall. I think if I travel through here, what does it look like? Oh. Oh, shit! There was an electrical enemy in there. I could have got electrified. That would have been really bad. Add freeze field. Freeze field's on there, but it's like on the payload. That's how you see the enemies. See how they're getting frozen? It can't, that way it can't hit me with it. Still too safe. It would have saved me. Scary.
Went to parallel, didn't collect all immunities, didn't get unlimited spells, etc., etc. Chat, is he stupid?
I'm safe. Seems a little scary. That's a little scary. Can't wait for the lava poly transmute. That's why currently we're doing without the chaotic transmute. If it was on there, I wouldn't be able to get hit by the beam at all. There would be no beam. That's like the whole point. Like you would just, it would just be a, just a little pinpoint, like a specific point without the beam. But then that's when it can transmute. Then he takes ownership, so basically every time he puts his shield up, he takes whatever projectile you were shooting. You have to remake your wisp over and over. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. He's being a real fucking tease with that shield. He always does that. It's like shield down, shield up. Shield down, shield up. It's like, oh, come on now. Yep, close battle, I know. I know. Should do the wisp with max orb kolmi. Oh, that one, you definitely have to make some major damage changes. This one would be a joke. Max orb kolmi, his health bar wouldn't even move. He'd look at you like, what the hell is that? Are you winning, son? Always, French fry, always. If you get near the lava, you should be able to see Some chaotic transmutations. You see that? Made some couple different things, it looks like. Come on. Oh, I see acid, but he can still throw even now. Time to lock in the win. I think it is about time. Though I did enjoy the divide by 10 beam. Can you put an infinite damage projectile setup inside of a wisp? I'm not exactly sure how it works. I don't know if every time it went to hit something, if it would like lag to hell. I feel like it's probably possible, but it seems like it would be a lag fest. Probably not worth the risk. Infinite wisp, making wisp. Yes, you can have a wisp that then shoots off wisps. Will he destroy music notes? The boss? The boss... So he doesn't necessarily destroy projectiles. There's certain things that he will kind of like... I guess they kind of get deleted. But if you put damage field on some music notes, I believe you can shoot them inside his shield just fine, and it would mess him up pretty good. You usually don't want to do it though, because his shield means that he can take ownership of your spells. So for example, in the case of that plasma we were just using, it was actually a good thing he was deleting the plasma, because the alternative would be him taking ownership of the plasma and like somehow trying to fight me with it. So for the most part, you don't want to fire projectiles into his shield. It's usually a little risky. The Divide by 10 follows you a lot better. Yeah, I'm sure it does on that. I don't doubt that one.
Uptime is 7 hours. If you hurry up, old man, and keep the yapping to a minimum, we could get in like 1 hour of power work.
Wait, hold up now. What now? Wait, what? I was about to go have breakfast. What are you on about? Wait, how's am I at? Oh, I used up all my charges. Hold up. Actually, screw it. We'll just have to go with the... Good to see you though, Kwake. Oh yeah, Kwake, did you see there was the sister leveling abridged? Solo leveling abridged, sister leveling, whatever the hell you're gonna call it, season 3. I watched it the other day. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Keep yapping, keep it to a bare minimum. I maximize it. Sister leveling. There's a solo leveling abridged that they call it sister leveling. It's fucking, I mean, it's dumb humor, of course. You gotta be into like just goofiness, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty good shit. You actually watched it? I mean, it's pretty hilarious. What's the joke? I mean, it's what do you mean? There's not a joke. It is abridged. It's like an abridged series. Here, I'll give you a well, first off, gotta go to private. You don't want to put solo or sister leveling. I don't want that part of my search history. Please. Please. What the hell is this? Oh, that was a react thing. Please.
Stepsister leveling?
No. It's not stepsister leveling. It's sister leveling. Oh, let me... Alright. It says... most replayed. We'll go to the most replayed.
I'm really enjoying our date, Ginu.
This isn't a date, Jenna. It's just a family dinner.
You know, when I said I wanted your meat for dinner, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, well, KFC was the only place that was open, so...
It's so good, Ginu. You're the best stepbrother I could have ever asked for.
Again, we're not step-siblings. We're blood-related.
I don't know. Dad left a long time ago, and we have different colored hair,
We're
and...
not f***ing, Jenna.
Fine.
You should just stop trying. Literally nothing will convince me to hook up with my own sister.
New mission alert.
Oh god.
Mission title, Sister Leveling, Sweet Home, Alabama.
Reject.
This mission cannot be rejected.
Like hell it can't.
Who are you talking to?
Shut it, Jenna.
Yes, Daddy.
Failure to complete this mission will result in your immediate death.
No one hears about this.
No one will hear except the neighbors.
God, I hope you're adopted.
I told you it's so dumb, but the music, his quest is a Sweet Home Alabama. Oh shit, it's good stuff. Oh wait, what was that? Hold on. Chelsea says you can never talk badly about the weebs again. Oh, come on. You gotta admit that was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. That was pretty good. It wasn't? Oh, come on. It was decent. I laughed. Do I have to kill myself now? How does this work? You laugh, you die. Is that a YouTube challenge? You laugh, you get murdered. Wait, where the hell is... Where am I? Where am I? Dunk is a weeb confirmed. Come on, you didn't think that was funny? That's good stuff. New mission, Sweet Home Alabama.
It's time to stop, okay? No more.
No more. All right, weebs are muted. We're good. All right, into the dark sun we go. We've built our death beam. The plasma wisp is official. Let's go. That was pretty lewd, Dunk. I expected better from you. What did I do? I'm innocent. Ugh. You know what's crazy? That's actually that's pretty nice that death happened that way. I could be wrong, but let me show you something. Can anybody clip that death that just happened?
Yeah, I watched it. Pretty funny, and by the looks of their shorts, they are working on a season 4. Very disturbing. Also, it is only 6:30 a.m. Who has breakfast already at this time?
There's there's like a short where it popped up, and I was like, oh, they made another one, but apparently they just make like, I don't know how it works. They make like shorts, and then I guess they make it into like a long series for like a season or whatever. But he like revives his mom just to find out if his sister was adopted. He's like, please tell me if she adopted. And she's like, no. And he's like, oh God. He's like, you're adopted. And then the quest pops up. It says stepmom quest. He's like, oh God. New mission, stepmom quest. He goes, oh God. Oh shit. This is gonna be on the hub. It's going for the hub. Some abridged could be hilarious, man. Have you ever seen the Dragon Ball Z abridged? There's some hilarious moments in Dragon Ball Z abridged. I mean, there's a lot of dumb shit too, but it's pretty funny. What, was Krillin busy?
Not yet. Huh? Oh my God! It's Tien. What, was Krillin busy?
Damn it. Oh wait, did somebody end up clipping this? There was something I wanted to show you. Oh, yes. Calcifer.
And you guys ask why there is so many weebs here.
Abridged is kind of like weebs. If anything, there's some weebs that do not like abridged. So like, how dare you taint the original taste of the anime, the flavor of it, with your degeneracy. And I don't know, there's like I've seen like clips of, I think it was either Yu-Gi-Oh abridged. There's some, some of the abridged can be fucking funny, man. So let me watch this real fast. Is this the actual? Okay, this is, I want to see this. Better from you? What did I do? I'm innocent. Ugh. Does anybody notice something about this death that's kind of interesting? Watch it back. I'll replay this shit. Better from you? What did I do? I'm innocent. Ugh. You know what's crazy? That's actually... you died while bald? The shame? Saving grace didn't proc. There we go. There we go. See, Puppy is the only one paying attention. The rest of you are too busy jerking it to sister leveling. Focus up here, chat. Did better from you? What did I do? I'm innocent. Ugh. If you watch the bottom left, should say saving grace saves you if it does save you. And the reason this scenario it did not save me is because saving grace is like a true false statement. If your character is going to die, if something hits you that is going to kill you, if your HP is greater than 1 at the time of death, like when the killing blow hits you, instead of dying, you get resurrected, you stay alive, and you get 1 HP, and you get iframes for 60 frames, which is 1 second of iframes. So basically what that means is, if I have 100 health, and something hits me for 1,000 damage, that means it will kill me, right? It hit me for 1,000, that's more the health than I have. So I would die, but saving grace will save me, and I will be resurrected with 1 HP, and get to live for a moment. But if I have 100 health, and something hits me for 99 damage, so 100 health, 99 damage, meaning it doesn't kill me, it pushes me all the way down to 1 HP, and then something hits me for just 1 any amount of damage, I will die, and saving grace will not save me. It means that your health bar has to line up in the perfect circumstance for it to not proc a single time that I actually had, I don't know, how much health did I had? I had, I don't know, let's say 2,000 HP. I got hit with damage in such a way that it lined up where right towards the end, it actually hit me down. I don't know if it'll let me even line up the frame perfect. No, it's not. But so at this point when I have 50 HP, something hit me for 49 damage. Not 50, not 1,000, not over. Something hit me for 49 damage. And then after I was at 1 HP, then something killed me. So yes, we know basic math, but I mean, it's important that people understand because saving grace can be kind of confusing for new guys. Saving grace sounds like shit extra life because you read it, you're like, why would I ever want saving grace over extra life? See, extra life, upon death, you respawn with 100 health. You're like, okay, that's nice. If you would die and would have more than 1 HP, your HP is set to 1 instead. That's kind of weird. And so you just end up thinking it means like, oh, it's an extra life, but instead you revive with 1 HP. When in reality, saving grace can save you 1,000 times, while extra life can only save you once. That's the difference. But extra life will always save you at least that one time. The exact amount of times for the exact amount of extra lives you have. Saving grace, on the other hand, there's a chance it won't save you even once, because if you get hit just perfectly, you die without the chance of it ever even saving you to begin with.
Extra life has a one-off thing in parenthesis. If people can't read, that's a skill issue.
No, the one-off is not necessarily meaning like that. Like, for example, if you look here, it says one-off as well. I mean, I guess you could kind of look at it that way, where it's only like a one-time thing, but it's more meant like you can't, like I can't go to the perk removal and remove this and grab it again. Can't remove that and grab it again. That kind of stuff. It's a one-time, like it just applies to your character. It's a one-off. So 1 life saves you on the step. Wait, what is that? What does that say? So 1 life saves you on the stepmom quest, and saving grace does not always do that. What? Rewatch in slow-mo, you never get to 1 HP, it freezes at 50 HP, then you're dead. So just because it doesn't show you at that 1 HP moment doesn't mean that you weren't necessarily hit for that. Something probably did 49 in a separate instance, a separate frame hitting you for 1 on top of that. It basically just means like it didn't line up.
Yes,
the statement was not true.
Saving grace is not the one-off 1 LMAO.
So like you can't always go by what your health bar showed in the replay. It's more of like what's actually happening with the calculation in the code. And it came to the point where something hit me for 49 damage, pushing me down to 1, and then something separately hit me for 1 damage, so it just went from 50 to 0.
Guy right now, he is
Chostings gifting a
drunk.
sub out to Stepsister. What are you doing? Chostings, please keep your pants on. Control yourself. It's good seeing you, though, Chostings. Wait, there was a washing machine sweat? Wait, what? Hold up. What happened? Stepsister, what are you doing? Why did it... Why is there a washing machine?
This guy right now, he is drenched in sweat.
AI, what are you doing? What the fuck? What the hell is this shit? The AI knows. It knows too much. You're gonna do TI? No, we are wrapping up with the final shop of the day right now because I'm really hungry. But hey, listen, I would do TI, but I know we're gonna be playing more Noita in like 15 hours. Why would I want to play TI now whenever we're gonna be playing some more TI later? Because then you guys will be bored of it. But instead, you'll be excited, something to look forward to, some Twitch integration. See, there's a little streamer pro tip for you. Always leave the chat wanting more. That's why I leave you guys hanging on the TI. It's a streamer move.
Nope.
You're dripping that dopamine. Exactly. Just gotta give them a little taste. Give me one moment. Sorry, I'm deciding to where I'm gonna send you guys over. Where should I torture? What streamer should we traumatize with the sweat? Always looking to share a little bit of trauma. All right, Raid's queued up for Celerity. You guys know me. I don't really play a ton of variety games. I play games. I find games that I love, and I play the shit out of them. I can't help it. That's just how I roll. But Celerity, on the other hand, he's got a healthier gamer diet. He plays a little bit of everything. He's trying different stuff out. So I'm gonna do you guys a favor. I'm gonna help you guys out and help you expand your gamer diet by hanging out with Celerity. And then in about 14 to 15 hours, we're gonna play some more Noita. Sound good? I'm the Dino Nuggies, where it's just like you can't turn them down. Every day it's delicious. But Celerity's like the little bit of variety, a little bit of healthiness to your gamer appetite, okay? So have fun hanging out with Celerity. Okay-age. This chat seems cool with it. Be here in 15 hours. More Noita. Thank you for the amazing day. Bobo, Pontus, Kitty Claw, Royal, Stefex, Aswip, Bayhue, Casty, Lude, Section, Airlix. I'll be sure to let him know how much you enjoyed Sister Leveling. All right, you actually should ask him to see if he... I bet you he knows about that shit. I bet you he knows. I bet you he knows. Okay, maybe he doesn't. He probably knows. 50-50. Deuces, chat. Stay sweaty, stay awesome.
Majestic.